Okay. Are you sure you're ready?
I'm sure I'm ready.
Okay. Should we count to 4 this time just to be sure that you're ready?
I'm already recording.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello and welcome to episode 38. I checked twice of Nerds and Words podcast. I'll be your host today, Tim Allen, with the 1337. We have an excellent podcast lined up for you this week. Potion Shop made wonderful notes, so we'll be concise and we'll know what we're talking about for a change. So that'll be great. As always, though, we like to start off by breaking the ice by talking. I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce you guys. Joined today with Potion Shop TV.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
And then the always great and persnickety Moreland TV.
Yeah, that's not actually going to be that concise.
No, there's nothing concise about this podcast. No, there isn't. So backtracking, but forward tracking at the same time. How was everybody's week? How you doing, Potion?
I'm still recovering after my 22-hour stream. I'm going to write on my face in Sharpie to never do another 22-hour stream because it completely messed up my schedule. So still recovering from that, but I have used that time to work on a new album. Currently have 18 of 20 songs for it. The album art is almost done, and that should be released April 14th. We have 2 songs to complete within the next couple days, and that'll be it. As far as
specifically the time that messed you up, because you're no stranger to streaming for a long amount of time.
So my window that I stream is midnight in A time to noon. That's my window that I normally stream in. And so basically when I do a long stream, my schedule completely flips, and I'm awake when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and then I'm sleeping when I'm supposed to be awake and streaming. And so then I could just stream when I'm not supposed to be streaming. But the problem ends up being that it hurts viewership. It's overall just almost negative for the stream. The lack of consistency. So instead, I just take the time off and work on other things that are important, that are side projects normally.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Every time I do a 24-hour stream, after I finish it, I'm never doing one of those again. And then a few months goes by and I forget how awful it was, and I'm like, man, we should do a 24-hour stream. And then I pretty much been stuck in that cycle for 5 years.
I don't really mind doing long streams. It's just it messes up my consistent schedule so much that it's not worth it, I don't think, unless there's some big goal to achieve or something. I don't know. A new class is sort of worth that, but I wish I'd gotten more than a single day out of it.
For me, it's kind of I do 18 hours. I could do an 18-hour stream and then I'll be good the next day. But for some reason, those last 6 hours, it's the difference between life and death. So I cap myself at 18 hours.
18 is the wall for sure. If you get past the 18 to 20, the last 4 hours, you don't even feel it.
Nope. I can't get past
true.
18. Yeah, I just can't do it.
Once you get going, it's easy to keep going after 20 hours. It all feels the same.
Anyway, well, glad you're
good for your
working
cortisol levels too.
I guess the BDO topic anyway. I'm still working on getting Ninja 62. I let people vote on what class I'm going to get 62 next. So working on that. Going to be getting Lawn to 63 this weekend, and then any free time that we have on the weekend for the last of the 1000% EXP is going to be used getting the Hashin towards 63.
Hashin, huh?
I mean, the Sage. Gosh, I keep getting those mixed up for some reason. My brain is dyslexic with those two. I don't know why Hashin and Sage are dyslexic for me, but I don't know.
What's the inspiration for the next album?
The next album is supposed to be summertime, chill vibes. The album art for it is actually going to be headphones that are underneath water. And they're gonna have an 8, you know how a ship that's underneath water has a corroded appearance to it. It's gonna have that type of appearance to the headphones that they've been underwater, submerged for a long time. But that's kind of the theme. Is this summertime, chill vibes.
You're gonna put barnacles on the headphones?
I think we're trying to do that. I don't know. It's an idea. I don't know if the idea, when it meets reality, actually is gonna look good. So we'll see.
Thinking about headphones and water gives me anxiety, by the way. I was actually thinking about this. I got a new refrigerator, and my refrigerator plays music, and your music was playing on my refrigerator, and I thought that was funny. But I wanted to know. I don't remember if I've asked this before. Do you have a favorite song out of all of your music that you've done?
I feel like I really haven't taken the time to think about that, honestly. I listen to all the music so much that it like I don't know. I definitely think that my passion is always with the most recent song. Like the songs I'm working on right now that are not released yet are always the ones I'm excited for the most. And I think that's what will probably continue to happen for a while. I don't know. Maybe if as time goes on, maybe I'll have a favorite. I guess Anaga is one of my favorite right now. It's the first one. It's the first song on the second album. It's one of my favorites. That's why I put it. Usually, like the first couple songs are like some of my favorite ones for the album. I don't know if I had to pick one though.
I like Dupe from Cube. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually release Cube again. I'm going to do Cube Remastered. And
Oh man, you should do like a reanimated, like Linkin Park, man.
My basic
Dude,
plan
it's such
for
an underrated album.
the my basic idea for the like is just to make it way louder because compared to the second and third album, it's really soft. And like one or two songs that are just like I think they're below average. I'll probably have an artist redo them, and we'll see if we can make them better.
That's cool.
I think that'd be fun.
Well, good luck with all that, man.
Thank you. What about you guys?
Good stuff. Yeah, what's up with you, Marlon?
What am I doing? I'm still gambling Tet distos. Luck has not been as good this week. I keep downgrading them.
Yikes.
I checked out a new Ultima Online private server that has like kind of a weird, interesting rule set. So messing around with that a lot. Still undecided on if I'm gonna stick with it, but it's been fun to run around and explore that a bit. And then still doing Darkest Dungeon as well, which is we were talking about cortisol levels earlier. That game's really good for, just making your blood boil and causing you to just lose whatever hair you have left.
I actually want to try that game. The more I watch you and the more that I see gameplay of it, it's like I want to try it out. It looks really good.
I actually bought it. I've been playing it too.
Really?
Like yep.
A game that all of us like?
I didn't say if I liked it or not.
I actually don't really like it. I don't know why I keep playing it.
Really?
I kind of hate it.
Well,
no, I mean I like hate like it,
Is it like a Dark Souls feeling?
No, it's definitely not a Dark Souls feeling. Like in Dark Souls, I don't know. The stuff that happens to me in Dark Souls, I always feel like it's my fault to some extent. Darkest Dungeon, I'm definitely just mad at RNG the entire time. It's more like BDO in that regard.
Yeah, I want to talk about Darkest Dungeon when we're done with BDO stuff. I think
Sure.
that'll be a fun conversation. Have you kept track of how many Tet distos you've failed versus succeeded on?
I'm probably at like 50-50, honestly. My luck's been pretty good.
Wow, that is good, dude. It's hard to complain.
Yeah, I think I've made 4 total, and I've definitely failed that many. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it, but probably 50-50 or like 40% at the lowest.
That's cool. Good for you. I've been playing a shitload of Star Wars Galaxies. I actually have this thing now where I have 2 Star Wars Galaxies AFK, and then I'm dummy training on BDO as well. So I'm like 75% into 64 on Guardian.
Oh, you're beating me.
Yeah.
57.
Well, I grind more than you too.
True.
So I've been working on that. I've been getting back into PvP with node wars and stuff. It's been like feast or famine. It's like these wars I do either super fucking well or I just eat shit the whole time. And so I'm trying to balance out being more effective as like a team player and stuff because we have so many good shot callers. I don't have to I just don't worry about that at all. All the calls are good. All the people are nice. We all get along. And I feel like we just need a little more cohesion And I'm trying to find my slot in that, how I like make big plays in a T1. So I've been working on that, but I've also been working on Suck Wiz.
Ooh.
Yeah.
For as easy as it is, not having a Q block or an S block is difficult. You know, you have to use that one lightning skill for a frontal guard, and everybody knows what you're doing when you're doing that. So it's a little tough. So I've been doing a lot of RBF, just trying to get like the cadence of the class down a little bit.
Just gotta
I've had
find
it
the
tagged
potion
for a
shops
while.
out there in Node Wars. They won't know.
I actually did a war with Suck Valkyrie yesterday. That was an interesting experience.
Yeah, I didn't make Node War last night. How'd that go?
She actually seems like pretty decent, especially on like flex or defense. I think her movement is just too clunky for me, though. I just can't get over the way that Suck Valk moves. You can't really chase people down properly. You can't like get on top of the ball fast enough to keep up with all the, Novas and wizards and everything else. I just always felt like I was half a beat behind everything. Maybe that's just because I'm new to the class, but it was fun to skirmish off to the side. That class is a fucking brutal like 1v1 class. But yeah, it was interesting. I don't think I'll ever do it again though.
Okay. Yeah, Run from Aftershock was Suck Valk, and he would shock hull and clap. So like when everybody's collapsing on you, he did really well with that. But the movement and the key inputs for that looks like something I would never want to do. But yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna bring Suck Wizard to T1 Node War. I probably never will, but it's a fun little side project. I don't really want to grind right now. I'm just kind of getting back into PvP. So I've been focusing a lot on RBF. I really need some BA time to get better at my Guardian 1v1 because it has suffered from lack of using that muscle pretty.
Let's
pretty
fight,
greatly.
dude. I'm learning like a bunch of different classes right now, bouncing around a bit. We should practice.
Yeah, I'm down for that after podcast for sure. But while I'm AFK training behind it, like on my scene, I'm actually working on Star Wars Galaxies. I'm creating this empire that I'm super excited about. I found a part of the marketplace that is not being fulfilled, and I am gonna stuff it filled, and I'm gonna make so much money, and then I'll be able to buy a really good weapon, and it's gonna be hilarious.
I think it's so awesome you're running two games at the same time, two versions of it at the same time to get more money.
Yeah, so you're allowed to have 10 characters, which in live you could only have one character per account unless you had a Jedi. So on this server, you're allowed to have 10 characters because a lot of people would have 5, 6, 7 accounts. 10 characters, and you could be on 2 at the same time. People would have commonly 2 computers running. And so there's some of the stuff you train is like really, really tedious, and it's almost not even quicker to just do it AFK with a macro. And that's all allowed.
Yeah,
That's in the
old
spirit
school
of the game.
Euro's the same way. I have 3 characters that are just beating on each other with wooden weapons to gain skill right now.
Yep, so they're harvesting or surveying or working on skills, and then I've got BDO. It's 1000% EXP. I don't really want to grind, so it's just sitting there beating up a dummy. And then I played Darkest Dungeon because I was playing 4 video games at the same time. Basically, it was pretty cool.
Dude, the 1000% XP thing, that is such a problem. I hope they address that someday because I feel the exact same way. I'm looking at this like, okay, this is the last weekend we have 1000% XP. But if I just leave my dude on a dummy, I'm going to get 80% as much XP as I would get if I grinded super hard and went 12 hours a day anyways. So
Absolutely.
like what? It's not worth the extra effort. I'll just do the dummy and like just grind with my, 530s outside of the event. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know.
That's why I've changed over to do 62 because 62, having multiple characters there, 62 is more impressive than having 66 now. And that's kind of sad, honestly. So that's why I'm going for 62 because you actually have to grind it out if you want a whole bunch of characters with it. You can't just AFK it.
I think they really missed the opportunity to make these new spots like significant XP grind for people who are 63 plus.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the main thing is what do you need the EXP for? And they need to answer that question first and then create the solution for it. You know?
That's a really good point too.
Yeah.
Because I want a reason to grind for 67, or whatever. But there's not one.
if I didn't stream, I would never hit a dummy. Unless I was 62 going to 63.
I mean, I just level up for pretty much the same reason. It's so people coming into my stream don't think that I'm a pleb, because they're like, why is this guy only level 62? The other streamers are all level 64. Like, you know, they don't know yet that it doesn't matter.
And explaining it to them, you just look like an asshole. So
yeah, exactly. Well, level's not that big of a deal. Yeah, sure thing. Okay.
Okay, well, unfollow this idiot. Yeah, so I've actually had a really good week. I don't know if you can tell on a webcam, but I've been going out in the sun every single day and biking.
Isn't that dangerous?
It is. But nothing bad happens. Actually, good stuff happens. So it's been super windy here still. It's been windy here for like 3 months, but they're really beautiful South Florida days, and I've really been enjoying it. I'm kind of settled in my move, and my stream room looks fucking great. So I'm doing pretty well. I'm having a good time.
Look pretty good.
Appreciate that. My buddy made that thing behind me.
That thing looks sick, dude. I need to get one of those.
I can have my buddy make one for you.
Let's do it. Yeah. Have him make Moro W.
Just send me a GIF or a PNG. A Moro W. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Wouldn't that be so funny? Right next to your like really shitty, almost pretend blackout curtains where the light goes all the way through it, you just have this like amazing custom piece sitting right next to it. It would make no sense whatsoever.
I was gonna put a display up, but I forgot to order one.
That's what I was gonna do, and then I'm like, I'm going through these displays, and then my buddy just bought a CNC machine, and I'm like, could you like CNC like black plexiglass and then put LEDs in it for like my logo? And I sent him my like YouTube intro, and he's like, holy shit, this is going to be crazy. So he did it. But I can change. It has like 300 settings and stuff I can change with my phone. Anyway, let's get on to the podcast. Black Desert Online.
Oh, yeah.
Poster, would you be so happy, or would you please walk us through the patch notes?
Yeah, so this week they actually they added a whole bunch of stuff in here. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised. It's not really any big content updates, but as there's so many small ones, it's actually a pretty nice update, I think, overall. One of the big things for the new players is added a new Olvia server, which is exclusive to new players that have less than a cumulative level of 150. So if you have 3 characters that are level 51, you won't be able to get in. But if you have, one character that's level 60, I guess you can get in. I don't know. It seems like a little odd of a requirement to get in there, or to prevent people from getting in. But I guess the design is if you want to have, you want to make a few characters in your first time playing the game, then you can do that, which I think is kind of nice. Along with that, they actually went through and they did EXP buffs, skill point buffs, and contribution buffs, which leads us to what they're doing for regular servers, which applies to everyone, right? Right now, if you have less than 250 contribution points, you get bonus contribution points. And I guess it's from questing, or is it from cooking also? Do you guys know?
Probably from anything.
Yeah.
So
I think you can get 250 contribution from like a day of cooking anyways, but I guess for new players, it's a little bit more of a struggle than that.
And then they give us all an additional 100% combat EXP buff, which is in addition to the already 1000% going on. So I think those stack. So we have 1100 now. During the
no, they don't stack. They don't stack.
They don't stack.
No.
So the 1000 replaces the 100.
Yes, sir.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious about that. But yeah, they're giving that to us for 2 weeks, and also skill point EXP bonus. But what's really interesting is what comes after the first 2 weeks. After the first 2 weeks, like 2 weeks from now, they're going to actually give everybody 100% life skill EXP up to Artisan 1, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but this is actually a huge deal for getting your family fame higher. If you want to get your family fame way higher, it's a perfect time to farm it out.
Yeah.
And
family fame.
On top of that, getting your family fame up to 10,000 family fame will actually give you 2,000 VT for your central marketplace. And I think it's probably one of the best times in the game to try to farm that out to get it a little higher.
Yeah,
Isn't
you
that kind
guys
of
know
an
there's other
incremental issue, though.
there's other video games out there too, guys. You know, you don't have to just play PDO.
I mean, I'm going to be
The-
doing it. I'm going to be doing it for fishing and trading. I think it's going to be really, really strong for those.
Oh God.
Leveling trading, yeah.
I want to
And
do
fishing?
active fishing,
So,
yeah.
so you can get like 15 more weight in your central market. I mean, I guess.
It's 1,000 VT. It's actually really good.
What do you mean it's 1,000? What's 1,000?
You get 1,000 VT or 2,000 VT
From what?
from having 10,000 family fame. If you hover over the question mark in your warehouse capacity, it has family fame bonus for VT. Mine's currently at 1,888.8. And you can get up to 2,000 if you get up to 10K family fame.
Yeah, but again, the amount of extra work you're doing, you're not getting 1,000 extra weight. You're getting like 10 extra weight.
It's 2,000 VT. It's the central marketplace. Why are you talking about weight? I don't. Maybe we're talking about different things.
Talking about market weight, right?
Yeah, 2,000 VT is a lot. That's like 2,000 more of these little.
Yeah, but
what are they
how
called?
many
Light stones.
life levels do you need to get that 2,000 compared to what you're at now?
Oh, for me, I need to go. I need to
it's
go
an
up another
exponential
1,000.
drop off in terms of effort put in versus benefit gained, right?
No, it's about the same. It's not that bad. I actually
Leveling trading on alts is inherently bad. There's no not that bad version of leveling trading on your alts.
You do fishing in Odalita, and then you trade the fish in to Kama Sylvia. And
He's right.
with the 100% EXP bonus, like Artisan is attainable in a few hours on both
Yeah, he's right
fishing
about that.
and trading.
So you're gonna spend like 20 hours fishing and turning shit in Kama Sylvia and alts? I mean, I guess.
I mean, I
Yes, he
think
is.
for casual players, I wouldn't recommend that. For casual players, you do some AFK processing, you do some cooking, you do some gathering. You know, that's what your average player would do. You know, if you're done with all of those and all your characters, then kudos to you.
I could see the processing and cooking, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm obviously a hardcore version of this. I've already done gathering on all characters. I've already done cooking on all characters and processing on all characters. So I don't really have anything else to do other than to go to the next thing, fishing and trading.
You could learn an instrument.
They did add instruments to the Global Lab this week.
Oh my God. Also, Jester Akota actually brought up a good point. He said that if you're a node war type of person, this is a perfect time to get sub 30-second repair time for forts. So if you don't have life skills on your main character, like intelligent people who like to move to different characters for different things, this might be a good time for me to get some of my stuff up so I can repair forts a little quicker.
Yeah, because you have to have a particular processing level to do that stuff, right?
I think it's just life skill levels overall on your character reduces it, or specific ones. I don't know the details of it, actually. I'm sure Jester's about to tell me, but that is something that gets overlooked pretty often, and especially in like T1 node wars and stuff. It's super sweaty. It's a good thing to do. So I don't know. I might put some life skills on my main character, actually.
I mean, for me, like, I think going back to like why I'm doing it, and this is because I don't have anything else to do in PDO that I really care about. So just finding excuses to do different things and maximizing my time, you know?
Apparently there's a chart.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. It's actually insane how much you play this game. And I know it's not like your favorite game. You've talked about your mentality on this, where it's like, you know, you really love your stream and your community, and you kind of play BDO for that. Have you started like enjoying the game a little bit better since PA's taken over and all these big patches have come through? Or are you still kind of like, you know, BDO's BDO?
I mean, I inherently enjoy BDO, but it's sort of like, for me, it's sort of like watching your like Lord of the Rings. Like watching Lord of the Rings the first time, awesome. Watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy like 100 times in a row, you probably get a little bored of it, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. I've played so much BDO that even though I enjoy the game a lot, I've had my fill, and so it's not like I don't like the game. It's just I've had what I've enjoyed out of the game so far, and so now I'm just playing it as like for other people. You know, it's sort of like I imagine like a League of Legends professional player. Do they want to play League of Legends every day?
Fair.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not the. I think it's a really similar comparison.
I would. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Is your archer's
unhappy.
name Legolas?
Hmm?
Is your archer's name Legolas?
I should have named it that. Why did I name my archer? I think I named it something like stupid.
You have terrible character names.
This one's called Serlen. Serlen. Yep.
I named my archer Borolin.
Oh, my archer? Oh, my archer's name is
bow.
actually legit. It's used coupons.
Which one of your characters is Kim Allen?
That's
that
my
your
stuff
Valk?
Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was feeding with in Node War.
Nice.
That's probably why I did so badly. Everyone saw the name and focused me down.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like,
Those
I had
survey guys were chasing me like hours away from the objective while they were losing. So
Okay, so this is a really cool chart actually. I don't know who made this, but so you can get fort repair time down to 20 seconds. The base repair time is 40 seconds. A professional skill level reduces 1 second. Artisan is 2. Master is 3, and Guru is 4. Again, the lowest time being 20. So professional, you can get professional hunting, artisan training and alchemy, and then master gathering, fishing, cooking, processing, and trading. And apparently that's supposed to be like the meta, but there's a whole bunch of stuff here.
So this is like repair times when in Node Wars, right?
Oh, this is from Not Matt. I guess that's a Chonation face. This is so cannons have a 21 to 29 second downtime between shots. With one cannon hitting your base, you're still able to get repair ticks in. Oh, it's from Buddha. So that's a really nice chart. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's actually I didn't know that was actually a mechanic in the game where having higher levels. I figured there was higher, like you needed levels to do some of the tasks, but I didn't know there was like an efficiency thing. I wonder
It
if
seems like a joke, right? It seems
Yeah.
like a bad rumor or something, but it's real.
I
Yeah,
wonder,
it's
I
real and
wonder if
it's
there's
huge.
something like that for boats, like repair time on boats. I wonder if you can decrease that as well. I never
I
really
wish they
thought
could
about
let
it.
us do a macro for that, honestly.
It should just
That's
let
the
you stay
worst.
on there the entire time unless somebody attacks you or something, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. Anyway, we can move on.
Yeah,
was interesting.
speaking of EXP stuff, the 1000% EXP event has a bug. Basically, this bug the EXP will apply at the top of your screen, like the UI will have it, but it doesn't physically apply to your character. So when you kill the mobs, you're not getting the bonus EXP. I actually was on my ninja when this happened, and I grinded for about 2 hours, and I was like, man, this EXP is not correct. Like, why am I getting like 6% an hour? I was supposed to be getting around 10% an hour, maybe slightly less if I was going slow. And I was getting about 6% an hour, I think. And it ended up what it is we did some testing, and I talked to my chat about it. And apparently there's like a bug where it just doesn't work, period. And to reset it, you have to log off your character, log back onto your character, or like maybe change servers. And then the server will like verify when you change servers or log back in, and it'll reapply it. So I guess if anybody's having problems with that, that's what's going on.
How many people do you think would actually notice it? Like, are paying close enough attention?
Well, I think the thing is, a lot of people are using the 1000% EXP bonus, right? They're on top of the regular, so they're using a 530 scroll and a 600 scroll, and potentially some other like EXP buffs. So they're already over 1000%, and unless they know the normal rate, then there's no way they can verify it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't think I would even realize it.
Yeah, I actually I didn't realize it the first hour. I realized it the second hour because I was like, wait a second, why am I at 15%? And I've grinded for like 2.5 hours. What is going on here? But yeah, then
did you report it?
Yeah, I reported it, and it's been sent up for review. I've not seen any hot fixes. They had 3 different hot fixes go out for different things, like, I don't know, over the last couple of days, but I didn't see it go out. But they said it's got reported up to change the developers, and hopefully they can figure out what's going on, because there seems to be some type of disconnect between what the server thinks is happening and what your UI is saying. And that's kind of concerning that you can't trust your UI.
Yeah. Do you remember when they said they were going to go through and make it so that like your items actually are like your item UI or your character stats are actually tied to the item themselves?
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about how certain items didn't work or like the stats didn't work or they weren't being applied and they were going to actually make them be tied together. I feel like that could probably work for a lot of different areas of the game.
It really makes me concerned about how many different things in the game could just not be working. Like anything that's on your UI that is a buff could just not be working. And if it's small, you wouldn't notice it. Like, what if you had the AP on a food buff wasn't working? Or like, what
That's
was it?
actually in the game right now. The DP buff on villas does not work, and most people don't know it because there's no way to check it or verify it.
Yeah, I believe
all of a
that.
It's never
sudden,
worked.
Moreland's been saying this stuff for like ever since we've been doing this podcast and well before then. And suddenly he's not sounding so much like a salty mad scientist anymore. And it's finally getting the no disrespect, but it's finally getting the he was right, and it's finally getting the attention I think it deserves.
Absolutely.
So I'm really looking forward to that. This game would be so much better. That's such a big part of like a new player experience, but also like a veteran. Like when you go to a node war and it's a big node war and you want to crush some shit talkers, you want to make sure you're buffed to the T. And so you end up spending all this money and weird stuff that just don't matter. Or maybe it does, but you have to, it's almost like superstition. Buffing's almost superstitious. And so it'd be great just to have, the databases correlate and you can play the video game like you're supposed to. I mean, that's such like we talk about it all the time. It's such a like late 90s, early 2000s problem to have in a 2021 video game.
And I don't know if they ever fixed this, but Serendia Mill has an accuracy buff on it. And I remember for the longest time, people stopped using Serendia Mill and started using Ham Sandwich instead because the accuracy buff was not applying on the Serendia Mill in PvP or PvE, vice versa.
I think what's happening is that it was supposed to be 5 accuracy, but you're only getting 1.25 because it didn't get changed over from the patch where they like quadrupled all the accuracy values. So you were getting 1/4 of the accuracy, which was basically just like statistically insignificant. Like it wouldn't even show up in tests at that point.
God, I wish I was in that Discord with you.
That makes a lot of sense, honestly.
Whoever you're with that's doing all that testing, you guys are nuts, dude.
For that,
it's pretty much all big and shiny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope that they go back and they make everything that we see on our UI tied to the server. That way we can trust what we see on our UI and we can actually like feel like that's actually a way we can verify what's going on. So if the buff's not working, we would see that on a UI and be able to report it,
Or hopefully it wouldn't even get that far.
Yeah, hopefully they just notice it in the testing,
I understand when there's some like large scale player bugs or, skill bugs that, can't come through. But when it comes to like database testing and stuff, that's all stuff that can be done in a basement, with some hot pockets.
Yeah. Sage got some interesting changes this week. So if you're a Sage player, you can look at those. It doesn't seem like you got any major buffs or nerfs from what I've saw. I didn't look too closely. I haven't played them this week either.
There's really only 2 changes that have any significance.
Yeah. Which ones are they?
One of them was like it has to do with how much he can recover stamina while blocking. I think.
Ooh, that's actually really good.
Yeah, so that helps a lot for like longer fights that he has. And then I forget what the other one was. They did some other change that like seemed significant, but then there was like 15 changes that were just like absolute nothing, just like filler.
Yeah, there's a lot of little fixes and stuff, I thought. Let's see. I guess this is kind of a trend this week is that there's a lot of these small changes that seem like a little off or maybe like a little strange, similar to the Sage fixes. One of them is they added a vendor in Trent that sells Kayad necklace. Is that how you say that? And Chimera's pupil gem, which I think are accessories, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
They are.
I don't think these are relevant in any way, shape, or form.
They are. They're huge. They're actually enormous.
Yeah. So they're for T1. So when you have too much gear, you want the down attack modifiers and stuff. So I was just laughing because there's no way for you to know that would be the thing. But
it's funny though.
That's all we do. That's where we live in is trying to figure out. So you'll really like this potion. We actually pop like we don't really do simple foods, but sometimes you can. You do PvE, you'll do like frenzies, and you'll keep your real gear on, and you get as many AP buffs as you can because monster damage and all that hidden AP buff actually does damage to forts and structures in T1s. And so you're doing giants drafts when you're fighting people, and then you're going to frenzies when you're hitting structures.
So who's running those? What are those rings called from Blood Wolves? Who's got pin those for the monster damage? What are they called? Cactum rings?
How much is on them?
That's actually smart. I might have to do that.
Yep.
And then what is it? Do you run macalodes as well for the extra AP on those?
Yeah, you usually run resist crystals just so you don't get CC'd.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I need to swap it out since I'm sticking to T1s.
I can't. I'm trying to think if there's any other weird stuff like that. I guess you would use maybe like your awakening crystals. Monster damage.
And I never would have thought of that, dude. Never would have thought of that.
Yeah, I didn't know what the earring was called. I actually saved one because I knew you guys used them in tier 1s, and so I was trying to find where mine were at. I saved one though. I had more than one from doing the quest lines, the old earrings, but I don't know where they've gone.
Well, that was the problem, is that they were gone for a while and you couldn't do because it was old quest stuff. And so they brought it back to a vendor. So people who weren't doing T1s a year ago or whatever, or before then, could get the meta things. The necklace is kind of out of date, but you could still use it.
Isn't that kind of weird that they're adding it back in though? Like, are they silently acknowledging that special attacks aren't capped in T1s and they're okay with that?
I don't think there's anything silent about it. They're probably just doing like triage on their customer service tickets because that's how I got my shit back.
Oh, that's true. They probably have no idea why people even want them. They just get so many support tickets about it. They're like, fuck, can we just sell this on a vendor?
The truth is probably somewhere between those two statements, but yeah. Yeah.
They probably don't even know why people want them. That's crazy.
Could be.
All right, I found my Kaya necklace. So I have like 2 or 3 of these things around here.
I had a Kaya necklace for that was meta for sea monster hunting. You get the back attack damage. And wear a Kaya necklace, yeah.
That's game, dude.
Wait. Do you use that to hunt blue whales too? Because of that?
I've never hunted a blue whale. I have no idea.
Oh, I bet you can use it to hunt.
If you get back attack damage, I mean, when that thing pops up, ostensibly, it's just you want to have that necklace on.
Does it mean you wear back attack damage crystals in your offhand also then?
No, I do crit damage. The correction.
Yeah, you still want crit damage for sure.
Okay.
Offhand.
No, you don't want to do ruby neck for grab resistance C1. You just don't get grabbed forehead.
Oh yeah,
grab resist in your gloves and shit.
I'll just iframe it. That's my solution. That'll work out.
Yeah, you gotta work on that.
That makes a lot more sense now with the necklace being added to Trent.
That's why there's 3 of us, man. We're all here to help each other.
So Hadum got a huge balance patch this week. They basically, I guess the biggest thing is they made 2 of the spots are now 250 AP. It is Altar Imps is now 250 as a 2-man, and the Dinned Bandits or whatever is also a 250 AP grind spot as a solo grind spot. Those are the 2 biggest things. What do you guys think about these changes? I like the 250 AP grind spots. I think that's good. But I'm not sure. I haven't gone there a whole lot.
Bro, they gutted orcs.
Is it bad?
What do you mean they gutted it?
Like it's super easy. People are just blowing through it. All these gearlets are in there. It's been a fucking disaster.
That's got to be like the best grind spot in the game, hands down now, right?
Hands down.
So
the only thing that's bad about it is how busy it is because anybody can grind it and it's leaps and bounds again above everything else.
Wait, like what kind of gear are we talking to grind it Redworks on Hadum?
I'm absolutely not going to have that conversation with you.
Wait,
whatever it says on the map is the gear you need.
So you're saying people like a Guardian at 235 AP Kudum can go in there?
I don't know, dude. I'm not a Guardian with 230 AP. Hey, everybody's chat. What's the lowest gear? Who's the lowest idiot that's doing well at orcs? Let Potion Shop know in his comments below.
Yeah, if you have no killing gear on your Guardian, you should be fine at Red Orcs.
No real answers, though, chat. No real answers. You'll believe it all the same, and it'll be way funnier.
I actually, like, this makes, I don't know why, but this makes me think of my tier list. They did a
I can't imagine why it's either.
It's gonna be a mess. Every class can grind the best grind spot in the game. Gear doesn't matter anymore. I don't know how to rate anything anymore. It's all meaningless.
Well, so it was already busy there before they lowered the requirements to be there. And so I wasn't really trying to go back there. I'm fine at like Monastery or doing Castle Ruins or something like that. And so my community's actually been posting a lot about how busy and insane Orcs has been with, just people that probably shouldn't be there. Kind of like when Oasis, once people figured out that you could kind of do Stars In for a decent amount of money with Oasis gear, like losing a duel for spot in Stars In 9 times out of 10 is pretty fucking embarrassing. And it's just a karma bomb. So I think it's starting to be a little bit more like that. Whereas before I felt like I was the lowest geared person at Orcs. So, I think out of all the changes, like it's fine that the other lower end spots, I know the Gearlights really wanted a place to grind. That's hadum and experience the whole thing. I've got feelings about that, but I respect that they've got a little place to go to. But it sounds like the gap between, as it currently stands, and generalities, because it's only been a couple of days, between those opening spots and the best money in the game is way too thin.
I'm really curious where these people are coming from. Does this mean there's less people in Stars In now? There's less people in Sakraya now? I'm kind of wondering what grind spots
if there's not, there should be.
I don't think these people ever stepped foot into Sakraya. Some of the people from Stars In might be coming over, but my guess is that Stars In with 340 mil distos is still equal or maybe even better than the entry-level hadum spots.
That's still such an RNG grind. But you can also get those Supreme things, those Supreme Leader loot scrolls for loyalty, so it might still be good at Stars In.
I'm glad I didn't do any testing or YouTube videos on this stuff because, boy, oh boy, you'd have to redo it all.
Putting out videos on new content in this game is such a nightmare.
Soul sucking. Anders has got it right by just doing videos on the fucking patch notes that come out that need to be translated. Everything else is like, fuck, man. People still comment on my Awakening Wizard video from Xbox 2 years ago. They're like, hey, Hellfire's not bad. What's this guy talking about? And I'm like, well, in 2019 it was.
Dude, I have people who will comment on a 2016 node video and be like, actually, that node is really bad. I can't sell any of this Powder of Flame.
I mean, there are servers that actually, I think, have Powder Flame available now. Like, I think it's SCA or something. There's like 1 or 2 of them that are like weird. People just don't do the nodes at all. It's so hard too because you don't know, like, if you make a video for NA, it might not be relevant for another server. And so then you're only targeting like half the target audience, right? I don't know.
Nobody else on YouTube cares what people think of their videos. They just care that people watch. I don't know why you'd think any different.
I care. Like, a little bit. I mean, I don't know.
That's why you don't have 1 million subscribers.
I have like 8,000. It's close enough.
Just pump the shit out, dude, and ignore the comments.
I would have so much more subscribers if I just put out shitty content instead of good content.
I was thinking about redoing my YouTube guides, but like blind drunk from memory. I thought that'd be pretty funny. That's like low tier, low brow. I think YouTube's just a bunch of low brow stuff, and then maybe give a friend a Ferrari.
I've been trying to figure out for like YouTube for Black Desert Online, what kind of content will last really long. I really have. There's just not a whole lot.
There's none. That's why I stopped making videos for this game because it was a constant grind of like I would put out a video and it would be irrelevant 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
I think the only video that I've put out that's still relevant is I put when Xbox came out. I made a how to place a node war video, and it's like an uncut 45 minutes of me running around Serendia showing why this is a bad spot, why this is a good spot, what you need to look for, and how to set up like flame towers and watches and stuff. That really hasn't changed. That's the only video out of the like 40 uploads that I've done that has aged well at all.
I tried going like concept level on a few topics, like with nodes. I made the advanced node guide where I take these like fairly complicated mechanics and really break them down so anyone can understand them and just like follow the logic to figure out on your own what nodes are good. And people just refuse to do that. They're like, no, just tell me which ones. Tell me which ones. Tell me which ones, or I'm not doing it.
Yep.
I've done a few YouTube videos on like Blackstar that has done well. And like obviously my leveling guide, but that's kind of like you can't really repeat that.
Right, so you're not teaching people how to fish with those videos. You're showing them where the fishing spot. You're putting the fishing pole in their hand and walking them to the spot.
I guess bringing us back to Hadum is I've been trying to figure out how I want to test out Hadum for a good YouTube video. Part of me is like, all right, sit down and do 25 to 50 hours at every spot, and then break it down on a per trash level so people can tell how much money they make based on per trash that they pull in per hour.
Well, currently, the numbers for Hadum are coming from people who are popping J scrolls and yellow loot scrolls, doing 1 hour, and then saying how much money they got. So,
with a loot drop event going on,
I don't think there's any really good information on it right now. Not that I'm aware of.
Well, it's not possible.
So the problem is that you're trying to give people information. What you want is to put a 500 mil an hour clickbait title and then farm ad revenue and then move on.
That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay. I'm still
when
learning
people really believe
thing,
that you're the PvE god, dude. That's how you do it. Potion shop makes 720 mil an hour.
Whoa. I only make like 150 at Sakurai, all right?
Yeah, then they'll watch you stream Sakurai and be like, yep, that was clickbait, wasn't it?
They also released Hadum Marty Stones, which I didn't think it needed Marty Stones, but I think it's a good addition.
All content needs Marty Stones.
I don't like the inventory.
There should be Marty Stones for the wolves that I kill for meat. Okay.
How many souls do they hold? These new Marty Stones, they hold like a whole bunch.
1,300 each or 1,700. I think it's a little different from spot to spot.
Oh, that's a little better. I didn't like the old ones because they filled up so much inventory space with like 250 or 500 or whatever.
Yeah, these take a little while to fill up.
Oh yeah, so that'll be good then.
It's like an extra couple free shards per hour, pretty much.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to solve the EXP problem?
Nope.
No?
I don't even know if they give XP.
I don't think they solve problems in this game. I think they just create new ones.
I figured there are Marty Stones EXP, but are they like you just get them from the grind spots and you turn in like the greater Marty Stone?
You get them. You get extra shards for them. They didn't say anything about XP. I don't think. I can look and see if I get some when I turn them in.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Well, let me know. Yeah, I actually figured it was EXP, but you actually get the shards for the things you can add accessories or whatever.
Yeah, that's the main reason to do them.
I guess we'll have to see what that turns into. They announced officially that spring season is not happening, but they plan on it returning. I guess do we want to talk about the speculation of it or like the ups and downs?
Very good move.
Yeah,
it's exactly what needs to happen. We need a break from seasons. They need to revisit it. They need to come up with some new ideas.
I have nothing to add to that. That's exactly what needs to happen, and I'm very happy to see that they did that. I'm actually really surprised because I'm fairly certain they were making. The last time I spent money was Nova season on this game. I haven't spent money on this game ever since then. And now with money being so high and the pearl market being what it is per silver, if you're spending money on this game, you're not actively playing it. Like you just put a pre-order on stuff, and maybe outside of value pack, you'll get everything that you want within a reasonable amount of time, especially in the past couple weeks. So there's a lot of stuff they need to reevaluate as far as seasons, and I'm sure we're going to get a costume cron bump. I know I'm conflating a couple things there, but yeah.
I think they actually probably saw a huge drop-off in season revenue, and that was probably the trigger for doing this.
Oh, maybe.
And, part of that is because seasons are repetitive, but part of that is also because the season pass isn't nearly as sick as it was in season 1.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and I don't think the major revenue came from season pass. The season pass was like the addiction to get you into all the other things to spend money on. Like, I know people who played for the first time, came to season, spent $200 to $400 in one season, and then said, "Fuck this game, I'm out." And then like that was they're like that was it. And I feel like the people who are getting into it now are kind of educated about that and aren't so excited. Because originally people heard seasons and they were thinking Path of Exile, they were thinking Diablo 3, they were thinking,
Sure.
thinking about all the other big games that have these crazy content updates. Like they're thinking, well, what's the other one? Fortnite that has like they changed the entire game every time there's a new season.
Yeah, one season there was a rapper that came out of the sky and just broke it down.
Dude,
Honestly, it was a
so
pretty
good
cool
for this
in-game
game.
event.
That was awesome. That was one of the coolest things I've seen a video game do. Travis Scott, that's who it was.
Mm.
He was doing the McDonald's thing at the same time. That man has more fucking money than he knows what to do with.
Yeah, what was that? What did they call it? A live server event? I think it's what they called it. Something
Well,
like that.
so we've been, yeah, it wasn't like a season thing, but
Yeah.
and we've talked about this before. How I talked to Ran, who used to work at Pearl Abyss, about they were having conversations about what they want seasons to look like, and hopefully that conversation's going to respark, and hopefully they talk to the partners and stuff like that to get some information about how it should be, because I think that's really important, to get the feedback from the community, because I think there's some, again, low hanging fruit for BDO that would make seasons super fun. And I think they're so close, again, what we always say, BDO, we're so close. So hopefully this is a really good sign that they're going to take a step back and give us something that we actually want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many cool things they could do, man. I remember how excited I was when they first announced seasons, and then when I actually played it, it was like, okay.
I just want to copy Path of Exile seasons. I think it'd be a good model for BDO. They do about 3 or 4 of them a year.
Any kind of fresh start that's actually fresh. I mean, I think the biggest thing that immediately killed seasons for me was you just brought all your silver and cron stones in from your main account and just slammed your gear to pin in 2 hours into the season, and it was like, okay, so now I either have to go and grab 5 bill off my main account, or I just can't compete with people who grabbed 5 bill off their main account. How is that a fresh season?
Yeah. For me, I don't really care about the fresh start side of it. I do think that there's a valuable market there to be capitalized on, and I do think it's something they should look into. I feel like, for me, I wanted to see a season. For me, is like a signal to come back to the game and play something. That's what it really is. It's them raising the flag going, "Hey, come back to BDO, hey!" And, that should be, some people that is reworking old content, some people that is new content, and some people, they want to see what some really cool season event is, and they want to farm out some type of goodie they can only get during the season in high quantities.
What's crazy, though, is the rate at which you get this Narchilling gear. Like, you basically skip all of Tuvala. So if they do season 4, it must look completely different than the first 3 seasons, because there's no way they can bring Tuvala back now that Narchilling gear is a thing.
Right.
Maybe they're going to do, like, I mean, I've said before, I think on the podcast, like they could do the pirates invade the mainland, and so they invade Balanos, Caltheon, and Medea, and each region is, one's for new players, one's for average players, and one's for veteran players, but everybody gets to experience the event. And maybe they're going to do something like that, where it's sort of like you get to use your existing gear, but it's like add spice to the game. I don't know.
Existing gear seasons, not really a season at that point. It's just an update.
Well, I mean, it's a season update, right? So the idea would be is like it's only going to be around. The pirates are only invading for that season. So if you miss out, you don't get to farm your special house treasure or the unique pirate costume.
I would just call that an event. I don't think I'd call that a season.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it should be a really, really, really fancy event. Part of it should be reworked old content, and then part of it should be new content. And I'm just saying one part of that, obviously, but I don't know, something like that. I would like to use my existing gear. I've worked really hard for that, and I'd like to have something in seasons that allow me to use my existing gear.
But you don't use your existing gear in a PoE season.
Yeah, but that's completely different.
Right.
It's a short-term progression game that you get over with in about 2 weeks to a month. where
I
BDO
feel
is
like
long-term
I
progression.
feel like we're completely missing the point of seasons with something like that. Like a season should be a fresh thing where you and everyone else are on a level playing field, and it's some kind of rush to get to certain content or to compete in like the season tournament or like whatever incentives they want to put into the game. Like that's what makes a season. Anything else is just an event or a content patch.
I think there's room for both. I
Yeah.
think what
Yeah.
everybody wants is to start with the, no gear, start from scratch. Everybody's on an even playing field. And then that'll get old, and then we can do something more like what, Potion's thinking. I think there's room for both.
I think there's room for both because that's exactly what World of Warcraft's doing, right? They have new content and they have legacy servers. And I definitely think that they could do legacy servers as a completely separate content like World of Warcraft is doing. And then that could have its own version of seasons that
I would
resets.
play the fuck out of a BDO legacy server. Holy shit.
Yeah, I think those are two different independent things that can be monetized by themselves, If you have a value pack, you automatically get access to any legacy season servers, Bam. And
I don't think this company respects the older versions of their own game enough to do something like that, though.
I completely agree.
there could be 3 different versions. You'd have BDO without Awakenings, you'd have BDO without Succession, and you'd have like BDO without particular regions in the game. Or you could have BDO without certain gear caps, like maybe.
You think anyone's nostalgia for the pre-Succession era?
I think the
like
pre-Succession,
2019, early 2019. You think anyone's nostalgic for that version of BDO? I think that's probably the worst version of BDO that ever existed.
probably, honestly.
Yeah.
I do think that Successions didn't help the game do the game any favors, but I don't think it hurt the game in any significant way either. This is kind of
well, other than Suck Wiz, that hurt the game a little.
Yeah, true, actually. I guess moving on to the next topic. What do we got here?
You tell me.
So they have a treasure hunter quest. This is for new players. You basically find a little goblin in the starting areas, Belnos, Serendia, Caltheon, I believe. And if you find him, he'll give you can catch him and get a key from him. And then you go back to the chest that he was guarding, and you can use it to get 20 million silver and something else. I forget. So pretty good income for like a brand new player who's just getting like level 1, level 50 or something like that. So, and it's kind of like a little unique event. I don't really see this as something that a lot of people are even going to care about. But hey,
they're making up for the lack of
summary of all new content.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm actually upset about though is the dice game got reset. It's down to everything got reset to 0. I am
a good thing. Why are you upset?
Because I didn't get 100 on it. I was like halfway to 100. And I don't like that they reset it. I think they could allow people to choose to reset it, or maybe make it go up to 200 instead of just 100 or something. But like I don't know. I'm
if you didn't finish it, I didn't finish it either. If you didn't finish it, it's your own fault. And like it's not like you miss out. You get to get all the rewards you got and still go and get the 100 rewards again now. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's fine.
It's going to take me. I literally start from scratch again. So I got to 50. I didn't get to 100, which means I am now literally like I lost half my progression. Like
you didn't lose it though. You're gonna regain everything that you already got.
I have to go.
I have extra rewards.
I have to go and do
you're
that
gonna make money while you're doing it.
That stupid dice game again. Another. I don't know how many times. Another 100 times.
They made it so easy to get completions now. The special board counts as a completion. Like it's. I don't know. Weird thing to complain about.
Yeah, I'm not happy with resetting it. I'm not happy about it. They added a reward to it as well for I think 75. I think that's what's new. But I don't see a reason to reset it.
Because everyone else in the server already hit 100, bro.
No one hit 100 on that thing hardly.
Did.
No.
Chat, how many of you hit 100 before the reset?
Very few people hit 100.
Is it worse rewards? Did you guys just literally not do the dice at all and not get the good rewards?
No one does that thing, man. The average casual player doesn't do that. Like they'll do it when they remember it or when someone reminds them about it, but they don't check that shit all the time. There's like a guaranteed like 1 or 2 people like the horse trainers, the people who are doing tier 10 horse training. Those are the people who have level 100 on the dice scheme or above. Those are the type of people who have it.
Okay, well, I'm training T10s right now, and I had 20 completions. So how about that?
I had 72 completions, and you're a fucking idiot.
So no one has done 100 yet? No one did 100?
Some people in my chat did 100, but it's definitely not as many as I thought.
Yeah, I think one person I know has done 100, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't understand why they reset it.
Oh, the rewards are a little worse. They're not that much worse. There was, those combat boxes and life skill boxes were pretty good, but there's some gold bar boxes and shit. How much do you really care about 100 stack? So I got everything besides 100 stack, and like I'm good with it. 100 stacks are cool, but like they come out pretty often too.
I wanted the 100 stack. I'm upset about
Well,
it. They didn't
you
have
can't.
to
If you
reset
really
it,
wanted
and
it,
did. Yeah.
If you really wanted it, then you could have prioritized it.
Giving out 100 stacks is the single best thing they do for this game and the economy.
I'm literally never going to do the dice game again. I'm not doing it anymore. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to get up to like 50 again, and then they're just going to reset that fucking shit, and I'm going to get mad all over again. No, I learned my lesson. I played the game. I did my dice every single day, and now I got punished for doing it every single day. Fuck them in their dice game. I'm not doing it anymore.
Because you're not getting as much free stuff as you wanted to get. You're not going to take any free stuff at all.
It's not worth my time for a chance of 0 progress towards the goal I actually want.
It's like 100 free Caphras every 2 days.
It's a boring dice game. It was not. I didn't want to do it in the first place. Now they gave me an excellent excuse to never do it again.
Okay. I mean, you're the one who's going to be fishing and turning in crates on 20 alts.
Listen, that's actually fun compared to doing that dice game. Dice game is literally click, click, click. 3 clicks, and then you don't have to look at your rewards even. It's the most mind-numbing thing. At least I have to think about where to fish and where to turn in the fish.
The dice game's way more engaging than fucking trading, dude.
I like trading. At least has some purposes for people who don't have value pack. Also, if you don't have value pack, you can do trading, and you can avoid taxes on the goods you get from your nodes. Which I don't know who in the world will do that anymore, but it's there.
That's great 2017 advice.
Listen, not everybody has a value pack. If you don't have a value pack and you want to make some money on your nodes, it's an option. I want to do it.
It's an option.
I want to do it, but it's an option.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's next? Fun. I was upset about that.
Did we get to the guild gear rental system yet? That was my favorite part of the patch.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I didn't read through the entire details on that, but you can now rent your guildie's gear to a player who has less than 150 cumulative levels on their account, which is basically only new players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you can loan them a piece of gear that's very slightly better than the Narchilling gear that they get for free anyways. And if you loan it to them, you can't use it for 2 weeks. But the person borrowing it can put Caphras stones into it that then get deleted.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Wait, what?
That's it. That's the whole system. Any questions?
There you go. Yeah.
Nothing about that made any sense.
I'm glad I don't have any hair left to lose, because reading through this week's patch, I was mauling pretty hard.
So can I let someone rent my Pve Blackstar?
No, that's too high.
Wait, there's a cap?
Yep. Only try and Tet.
So Tet Blackstar?
I think so.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
Can't do Fallen God gear. That's too high.
But if he's level like 59, then he can't rent it to him.
Bro, I really dislike all the arbitrary rules they put into like these type of mechanics. If it has this many rules, just don't add it to the game.
It's bloat.
It would be great if they never added this to the game, especially since it's literally a 2-week event. It's not even a feature.
Yeah.
Well, it was in regular patch notes. I figured that they're just making it more limited after 2 weeks.
They said it's gone after 2 weeks.
Oh. Well, yeah, I don't get this at all. It would make a lot of sense to me if you could rent any gear and the cost of the gear went up with like sort of like copying gear did.
Mhm.
That would kind of make sense to me a little bit.
Mhm.
The only thing that, like, the only way I can make sense out of this is that someone from the top, like Jae-hee Kim, sent out a company-wide memo saying we need to make the new player experience easier, and like that was it, right? There's no specifics or no instructions, and then there's 15 different teams of developers, none of which are communicating with each other, that are all working on separate things at once. And so at the same time that Narc Chilling Gear, which is basically close to free full tech gear, comes out, there's a event that allows you to rent tech gear from your guildmate, but your guildmate can't use it while it's rented, and you can put Kaffir stones in it, but the Kaffir stones get deleted.
I can't. I that last part there gets me every single time.
Yeah, I just had to add that in, even though it's kind of a non sequitur because it's just so fucking mind blowing.
Non
They
sequitur.
purposely went through. Dude, they purposely went through and made sure that you couldn't enhance it or list it on the market or turn it in for I think you can't turn it in for an adventure journal. Actually, that one I'm not sure about because they specifically restricted tri-blue coral ring, but or earring, but they didn't restrict the other journal items. So that one I'm still confused. Might be a lingering exploit there somewhere. But yeah, the fact that they specifically went through and made sure you couldn't enhance it or sell it or anything else, but they specifically said you can put Kaffir stones in it. We will just delete the Kaffir stones at the end of the event and no one will get them back. Oh my God, that fucking tickled me, dude. Like, imagine, like, what? How could you? I just can't imagine anyone who's ever played this game doing something like that.
There's so much to unpack there.
Yep.
I don't know where all right. I like the idea that it's trying to encourage people in a guild to work together. I like that. But everything about this doesn't make sense on accomplishing that goal. You know, like everything
It's
about
great
it.
if you're like taking a 2-week break from the game and you want to give your buddy like 5 more AP for 2 weeks, I guess, and then he loses it after that.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems kind of crazy. I mean, I understand the expiration system a little bit. I feel like it should just be like a trade system that works through the guild.
I think the conversation we're having about this right now is more thought that they put into this system.
Probably. My brain hurts even trying to comprehend. Next topic. Kaposha accessories got reworked. The ones you get from leveling up. So you now get the level for Kaposha accessories at 58, 59, 60, and 61. That's how you get your Kaposha accessories. So super easy to get tri-accessories, making the value of Crescent Ring, Ogre, Tungrad, and Bassi Belt even less than it already was. Awesome. And now if you do 62 and up, you get tri-Kaposha accessories, I believe. I don't know the exact levels and all that. I forgot to.
Yeah, it's all try. It's pretty pointless. It's similar to how like when you hit 64, you would get a belt that you would never use. So now when you hit 64, you get a belt that you would never use.
I do think that the regular accessories, though, like getting to put Kaposha accessories up to 61 is actually a really big deal. Because this allows...
Yeah, that helps a lot.
That actually makes it where you can basically, as a new player, get 530 scrolls, go and smack some monsters and level up to 56. Then you get Oasis gear. And then after you get Oasis gear, you just go and I guess do questing to level up to 61, which you can technically do. And then you basically have like full tri accessories.
You yeah, between our shilling gear and these Kaposhas, I mean, by the time you hit 61, you basically have like full accessories minus maybe a ring or an earring.
I really wonder what's going to happen to the low and grind spots, because with people getting this kind of gear so easily, it makes me wonder if Blood Wolves and stuff are just going to dry up. Like, I'm kind of wondering if like the items from Blood Wolves are just going to disappear, like the Dark Red Fang Crystal and stuff like that. Because if everybody has that gear, that means no one's going to go there anymore, because they'll have better gear. So why would you go there?
I think people will still grind it for the potion, but yeah, there's a lot of spots. I don't know why anyone would go to like Fogan's anymore when you basically start with like 230 AP now.
Yeah. You can literally start an Aukman on a Guardian or History on a Shy,
Yeah, that
or
works.
you could technically go to on a Striker Succession. You can probably just go straight to Stars In. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I don't really know, as a player who gets that gear now, if you're a new player, I don't know what you would do. Like, I know you go to Stars In and spend the rest of your days grinding there until you upgrade to Hadum.
Do you guys think the Narshilling gear was too big of a jump after the Medaya questline?
Probably.
I just don't understand what the purpose is, right? Like, does it make the game more fun?
Well, seasons are gone, so they're trying to.
It's a catch-up mechanic, but it's so abrupt. It's like such a huge slingshot. I don't know. I think it would be better if they did it like mobile, where you just have like really rapid progression, but you feel your progression in mobile all the way through the main quest. But in this game, it's like you do the main quest, and oh, here you go. Here's a full set of gear that you didn't have to enhance or like feel any progression for whatsoever.
I don't think it solves any of BDO's current problems, right? Does it help people enjoy the game more, like new players? And the answer is no. It probably does the opposite. They get all the gear and then they're either going to quit, or they're going to pay to win, or they're going to grind at Stars In for the rest of their life, or Hadum, I guess. And
I think as a new player, you want to like part of what makes a new game fun is the early game progression. Like you're leveling up really fast, you're getting a bunch of new gear, you're learning systems, you're moving forward. If you just hand someone a set of 500 gear score, and then like your next upgrade is a Tech Crescent, that's the first thing you have to work for as a new player is a Tech Crescent. I mean, that's not very exciting. That's gonna take you a while. Like,
yeah,
there's no incremental gains.
I don't like any of this because like it's not like original BDO was not fun to level up in. It's not like it wasn't fun to gear up in. There was definitely some slow grogs in it, but it was a enjoyable experience. And I mean, I don't think being the current gear is an enjoyable experience anymore, and I think that's going to have a negative effect on the game long term. I mean, I do think it's going to solve the issue where people are like, it's too hard to catch up. I mean, no one's going to be saying that, I don't think. I mean, there'll probably be a few Redditors out there, maybe they'll say it, but aside from them, I don't think anybody will be saying it's too hard to gear up or catch up anymore.
Yeah, they'll always be there too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people always want to gear up faster, because at the end of the day, the addiction comes from all the endorphins and all that, right? So that's what they want more of.
Well, that's why I'm surprised they don't, because mobile understands this psychology perfectly. That's why I'm surprised that PC hasn't figured this out. Like the psychology behind having little gains, constantly fed to you rather than one big gain that you work for like 2 or 3 months. Obviously, getting the constant stream of updates or upgrades is way more addicting. And that's why mobile's structured the way that it is. But PC, it's like they can't figure out what makes progress fun in PC.
Yeah, I think a certain level of complexity, and then for new players, like you should be getting a gear upgrade. As a brand new player, you should be getting a gear upgrade maybe every hour, just about, right? And as an average player, you should be getting a gear upgrade like maybe every day. And as a veteran player, you should be getting a gear upgrade like maybe once a week or something. And that's basically how it should work indefinitely. And you should always have something
once
to work
a month
on.
is pretty cool.
Jeez, I wish it was once a month. Everything I want to go for right now is 100 bill or more, and I'm sad about it.
I haven't had an AP upgrade since November.
Everything's 100 bill. I'm like, I mean, Catfris is not 100 bill, but Catfris is the most boring. I think it's worse than gear because when you get a Catfris level, you don't see anything on your gear page go up, and that's what I think it makes it so hard for me to get it. Because I get one Catfris level and I look and I'm like, looks all the same. It's still got pin armor, It doesn't. You don't see any visual. There's no visual representation of the progress.
Yeah, this game needs to do a much better job of articulating stats other than AP and DP.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I guess I do think that enchilling gear is going to be good for catching people up, though. So people should take advantage of that while they can. And then maybe just AFK on training on dummies until they make the next one. They came out with some new tools for new players to help them get into life skilling. They're called the Dimihar Tools, I believe is what.
Not even worth mentioning. One-time use, 300 durability, can't be repaired.
Yeah. So it's a little interesting. I kind of understand the idea behind it, but I think Magic Tools already do a really, really good job of getting new people into it. They can make 50 mil an hour. A brand new player can with Magic Tools. So I didn't really think they needed to do something like this. The level up UI. Got some new paint. What was this one about? What they changed about the level up UI? Oh, at the top of your screen when you level up a life skill or you level up your character.
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, except for the fishing one that shows you AFK processing or something. The images got mixed up.
Whoopsies.
So they'll have to go back and verify that they all properly reflect the life skill that they're the images for. But other than that, I like the visual upgrade. The visual upgrade looks really solid in my opinion. I think it's definitely is a step forward for the UI. And I think that's it for the regular patch notes. Is there anything else in the patch notes this week that you guys want to talk about before we get into a few events in Global Lab? Was there anything I missed?
I like this cube event. Are we going to talk about this cube event?
Oh, yeah. This cube event is the same thing as the fire we got or the tornado we got for Hashi. And
yeah, but it's a cube this time.
Yeah, it's a cube for Sage. It gives you how much EXP and combat EXP?
No, the other cube event. I'm not talking about the mysterious knight who's now just a cube, which is very late. I'm talking about the other cube event, which is actually
Hexadrone?
Yeah, you gamble and you can go backwards. It's just like enhancing.
Oh snap! I haven't tried it yet. So what are you trying to do? You're trying to get the Caphras out of the end product on it, right?
Yeah, you're trying to get the red cube, but it goes like green, blue, yellow, red. And if you have a blue or a yellow, you try to get a red, and it goes back down to green. It's amazing.
So what's the strategy here? Do we actually stop midway somewhere? Is that the best bang for our buck? Is to stop on like halfway through?
Not a large enough sample size. Pure gambling, pure slot machine. Nobody knows what's efficient.
I bet like the second or third one's most efficient.
I mean, if you don't go for the last one, you're kind of a pussy, though, right?
Yeah, I'll just do it off stream. No one will know. It's true though. I think that's definitely the pussy move. You gotta go for the big one. What's the final color? The final color.
Red.
And you do this with like simple alchemy?
I think so.
All right, I'm gonna try it right now. I got 3 of these little cube things. All right. Simple alchemy, unknown.
If you get red, I'm gonna be pissed.
Hexahedron. All right, start. I got 6 of these things right now. The little hexahedron piece.
Yeah, so those are like the reroll pieces.
All right, we got a blue. Now I need to do the blue and the thing again.
It's gonna go back down to green. Watch.
All right, so blue, green, yellow, then red.
No. Green is the lowest, so you're at level 2 right now, but you have a chance to go back down to green if you get bad RNG. Which you will.
I got blue again.
Blue into blue? Damn, that's better luck than me.
I got green. What's the best one?
Red.
Red is the best one. All right. So green is bad, blue is okay. I got a yellow. What's the yellow? Is that better than a blue?
Yellow's good. You might have to keep that one, dude.
Oh,
go for red.
But if I don't go for red, then I know I'm a pussy.
Oh, I'm going for this, man. I want to play.
All right. I'm going for the red. I'm waiting. It's a very long processing.
It's gonna fail like 5 times.
Hey, we got the red. I actually got the red.
You didn't. You just went yellow to red?
Yeah. Hexahedron to fire.
That sucks.
Yo, okay, I like this. Let's do this again when we get some more of these things. Gotta grind some more.
Dude, mine literally just goes green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue. I've never even seen yellow.
Well, I mean, I guess you're doing it wrong. All right, so what do I get? I get 50 ancient spirit dust. I did all that for 10 Caphras.
10 Caphras, baby.
Wait, how do I open this thing up? I gotta go to Alston. Bro, I gotta go all the way to Velia to turn this thing in?
Maybe save a few up first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's not worth the run all the way there. Get a few of those. I actually just got over 1,000 Caphras from like events and free stuff. I didn't know that was possible, but from playing the mini game, the dice game, I've gotten over 1,000 Caphras now. From that and like events.
You were saying isn't worth your time?
Well, I might have been lying a little bit. But I am very upset about the 100 fail stack, right? I really wanted it. That was the icing on the cake, and they took off the icing, but they left the what's that little
I had like
jelly
literally
in the middle?
one completion before they did that patch to make it easier, so I was never gonna get that shit.
All right, so the odds of getting red are 1 in 5.
Wait, who figured that out?
I just did. I just did it right now. I did 1, and on my 5th attempt, I got the red. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. That's 10 Caphras for every 5 of those. Not bad at all.
I got 3 green ones.
I haven't done my second box yet. I have another hexahedron in 2 boxes. You get 10 Caphras a day if you get lucky. Is I guess the idea.
Well, you can grind the drops to re-roll them. You can grind gatherer fish for more of those cubes. So you get 1 cube a day, but the quality of the cube is based on how many times you spin it, and you can keep spinning it if you keep grinding.
So you get 1 cube for a maximum of 10 Caphras a day for the entire event?
Yeah.
Assuming you get all red cubes? Okay.
I unironically like the structure of this event, though. I hope they keep doing it, but with more interesting things than dust.
Yeah, I think dust is a little overused. All right, well, I have one more here. Let's see if we get another red one. I got a yellow one. Okay, that works. Morland, I gotta say, I think there's something up. I think you gotta, like, I don't know, maybe you gotta stand in a different spot or something. I stood on a road for mine. Maybe that's a secret. You gotta stand on a road.
Okay, I'll try standing on a
road. Really good luck. In other news, Sage Login Rewards. They give some Sage Login Rewards. I think it's a value pack, some other stuff. This is a little cube you can talk to on the ground. It gives you 300% skill point EXP. So same thing as this mysterious knight last week, but it's a cube on the ground now instead of a knight. Another event they have going on is the Guild Rent-A-Gear and Cherry Blossoms. What's the Cherry Blossom? Oh, apparently they had
trees.
Yep. Oh, in town it's Cherry Blossoms.
Yeah, very pretty.
Oh, okay. I thought this was an item in game. I was like, man, I haven't got one of these yet from grinding. They're pretty rare. Okay, so we got Cherry Blossoms for spring, I guess. That makes sense. I kind of wish that these. It's strange to me that like, what's it called? Velia and Heidel get brand new trees that only exist during the Cherry Blossom event and the fall event. I do like how they look, though. It does look really good. And that's it for the events of BDO. I actually am a pretty big fan of the grinding event. Did it have an effect on the Caphras market yet?
I don't really watch the Caphras market that closely. I'd have to go look at the curve.
Nah, Caphras are max price.
Wow, again already?
Yeah, I mean, there's like almost 200,000 at max price, but it's max price.
That didn't take long.
I'm curious to see what happens to the Tet necklace market after everyone panic sold it, thinking they were going to get a free one in season 4.
Skyrocket twice the price of
That's a good point. I forgot about that. That's funny.
If you don't know what's going on, people were speculating that the next season they would give a Pin Cabotia necklace. And what happened with the last time is basically Tet Bassi belts dropped from 6.5 billion down to like 3.2 billion or something like that. And so people were speculating that the next one would be a Pin Cabotia necklace because it's the only Pin Cabotia we haven't gotten yet. And well, we've had confirmation, like we said earlier, that we're not getting next season for several months from now. So everybody,
funny.
A lot of people were selling their Tet necks in anticipation. And how do you say that? Anticipation.
Anticipation.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's it for the regular BDO server. They have a lot of interesting things on Global Lab also this week. I think we should probably touch on these more roughly until they're actually out, but they are pretty interesting. We have our first PvE balance for classes since Ranger back in early January. So we have a whole bunch of different classes that got balanced. I feel like we should wait for Morlin to come back to talk about that.
Oh yeah, we could just wait for him then. That's fine. I didn't want to. You don't. Okay, whatever.
Wait, are you actually mad about it?
When I walked away, he didn't hold the podcast up for anything.
Well,
but when he walks away,
the events are boring, bro. No one's got nothing to say about the events.
What?
What, you want to talk about the events? We talked about the Cherry Blossom, Guild Rent Gear, the cube that spawns in the ground, and the Sage Login Rewards.
I don't want to talk. You're right.
Okay, I was just making sure. All right.
Fair.
Let's see. I was looking here to see if they buffed any of your classes. Did you play Mystic ever?
Only for PvE and not very well.
They buffed Musa a bit.
Yeah, they buffed Musa Succession, Musa Awakening, Kuno Awakening, Dark Knight Succession, Dark Knight Awakening, Mystic Succession, and Tamer Succession, and Ranger Awakening. These all got buffs in PvE. Their PvP did not receive buffs. Their PvP damage is the same as it was before, which in reality, that probably means that they're extremely similar, and you probably won't notice the difference.
We'll see.
What that probably means. I imagine what they did is they probably increased the damage, but they probably decreased the PP efficiency to try to keep it basically the same. So we'll probably see some things like the consistency of damage will probably be a little higher on the abilities. So like abilities that had like low hit rates before, like 3 hits, and now they have like 5, will probably be slightly more consistent than they were before in PvP. But they
actually buffed Suck and Awaken Musa pretty significantly. Awaken Musa might be worth looking at.
Yeah, I think the numbers that they have on them are actually very, very good across the board. I am in all the classes,
nearly double damage that it did before.
The one class that I was really confused about was Dark Knight Succession. I didn't think Dark Knight Succession had any problems. I thought it was actually really good in PvE, but they buffed it in PvE again. So I think that might be like one of the new best grinders in the game if they overbuffed that at all. But it looks like some of the abilities they buffed were weaker abilities, so we'll have to see. I'm actually excited for the one I'm excited for the most on here is actually probably Ranger the Awakening. I grinded Ranger Awakening towards 62 when I did that, and had a really good time on Ranger Awakening, surprisingly. I did think it was a little weak, but I had a really good time with it, and so I'm hoping that with these buffs, it'll actually be something that maybe I can take a look at taking forward to 63 in the future.
Ranger Awakening is super like interesting and unique as a class. I think it's really underrated in a lot of ways. It just got so like it was such a meta class for so long, and then everyone would like hard reroll to the newest meta classes as those came out, and Ranger kind of got forgotten. But that was one of the oldest awakenings and one of the most unique, I think, in terms of like how they built it and what it was trying to accomplish. It's too bad that people don't get a chance to like try it out more.
Some of the most petulant people play Awaken Ranger.
They actually they buffed Awaken Ranger back in January, so they're giving another buff here. So I'm kind of expecting Awakening Ranger to go from a slightly below average class to being a really strong class now. I actually think it's going to be a contender for one of the best grinding classes in the game. Maybe like
used to be triple S tier in history. I remember those days.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really curious to see where it lands at the end, because you never really know until you play it and you see the people who actually know how to take advantage of every little extra DPS and how well they do, you know?
Bro, Kinjaro's still there, dude.
Is he really?
The one thing I'm surprised about is they've never fixed the back attack damage on Ranger. Back attack damage on Ranger, you have to be like literally hugging the back of the mob to get the back attack damage. because it's considered ranged, and the range damage will not apply a back attack if you're too far away from the monster.
Oh.
So you have to be like literally like right up in the monster's business to get that back attack damage off, and it makes it extremely frustrating to play. So
I like that.
I'm really curious why they haven't fixed that. But I do think these buffs are going to make it, regardless of if they ever adjusted that for the quality of life or not, it's going to make it where it's going to be viable to play. Which is going to be good because
BDO thing.
I can't think of the last time that Ranger was really... Maybe when Succession came out was the last time Ranger had like any spotlight in PvE. So hopefully this will be like a time for it to shine a little bit. Because it has been a long time. Same thing with Musa. Like, has Musa ever been a #1 grinding class?
Oh yeah, during like the Centaur Montrum era, Musa was, I don't know if it was #1, but it was definitely like top 3.
Oh,
it was the best year for a while back in like 2017 for sure.
It makes me think of I have to bring it up, Sassans. All right, since seasons are ending and Musa was brought up, Sassans actually on the seasons is 150 mil an hour with loot scroll, and that's because of the number of mobs you kill. So now that seasons are officially confirmed not to be happening next time, we can release the secret information.
You know how like some places have that sign up on the wall, like this many days with no injuries? we had like 4 podcasts with no Sassans, and now we have to reset that counter.
Oh, potion.
I mean, I was just thinking about it, Musa buff, and...
Yeah, we know you're thinking about it.
Sassans, I mean, I bet I can one-shot him at 180 AP now. It'd be so good.
I bet you could too, man.
I could be making the same money as Sakraya on a Musa at 180 AP. Anyway, class buffs are on the way. I guess Korea will be getting these class buffs this week, and then we'll be getting them probably the following week. That's normally how things go. There are things that did
no Guardian PvE buffs?
I actually think that Guardian Succession and Guardian Awakening, they should do a rebalancing and not a nerf for a buff. So I think they should take a little bit of the raw AP power from PvE, from Guardian Awakening, and then give that AP power back to Succession so that they're kind of more... overall, you have the same power on the class, but it's just taken from one and given it to the other portion of the class. I think that would be a really good way of kind of adjusting it in the meta a little bit. PvP damage, I'm not going to even touch because I have no idea what I'm talking about in that. So, but I do think that would be a good way of kind of like evening out the class a little bit.
That's an interesting take, my friend.
Yeah.
Are there any classes you think they totally missed with this update? Like, are there some classes that are still just dog shit in PvE that didn't get touched this week?
Tamer got buffs. Meiwa, Succession and Awakening both got buffed. Yep. So Kerr will be happy with that for sure.
Whatever it is, there's no way it's enough.
We'll see. It's actually like
no way.
It's you can pull 4,000 to 5,000 trash loot right now in Sakraya. I mean, not Sakraya. I mean in Stars In with it at its current. So I think it could probably get up to like 5,000 to 5,500 with these buffs. Maybe some of the crazy tamers get up a little higher than that.
Yeah, well, I mean that would be it, right?
Yeah, I mean I think it's real. I think it could be really, really close. What are some of the other classes that they needed to work on? Meiwa Awakening was one of them.
Meiwa, Musa, Tamer, Suck Guardian probably needs a little bit of help because it's so clunky and not fun to grind on.
Honestly, a lot of the Successions, the fact that there's no super attack at Hadum on Succession kind of really hurts. Like when you get that Awakened weapon and you just one-shot packs with the Elvia ability and you can't use that in main hand, that shit adds up.
Wait, they didn't add one for the main hand also?
Nope, only for Awakening classes.
I don't understand why they didn't. That seems like that's something you would automatically do for both.
Yep, I agree with that 100%. Even if it's literally the exact same move with just a different animation.
I literally... I feel like I haven't gone to Hadum yet, and I thought that was just assumed that's what they did. That's a pretty big oversight, actually, on the whole Hadum front, huh?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that'll be when they do Hadum Caltheon, they do the succession will get LV abilities, huh? Yeah, that's kind of strange. Yeah, I feel like they should just do the same button input on one of the other abilities, change the chroma of the key or something like that a little bit.
But they're all quick slot.
Yeah. I don't know, something. One thing I thought was really interesting, the only class that I noticed got a Rabam buffed was DK. DK got one of her Rabams buffed, so I think it's going to be really good for the Awakening, because the Awakening needed another ability to fill in PvE. Other classes that I think are weak right now would be like Wizard and Witch Awakening. I feel like those in Striker Awakening, I feel like all of those are underperforming a little bit in PvE compared to their Succession counterparts.
And I
And
have zero compassion for strikers in any way, shape, or form.
no, I mean, all those classes have a strong form to play, so it's not like anybody really cares too much, right?
Right.
But I do think that there are people who like the slower playstyle of like the Wizard or the Witch, but can't play that because it's just so underperforming compared to its Succession counterpart. They feel like they're just missing out on all this extra free money. So I would like to see some of those like, super S tier class, way overpowered classes. I would like to see their counterpart get a small revision to make them a little more comparable. I mean, it's the same thing with Guardian and Succession, right? Guardian Succession is the same thing, really. Is that it's so overshadowed by the Awakening that no one wants to play the Succession Guardian. And if they do, it's just because they're just tired of the Awakening.
Yeah, it's fun in PvP. It's always kind of weird when people don't want to PvE with, like, Kerr doesn't want to PvE with Awakening, and I'm like, why?
Well,
It's
I
so
think
crazy,
I mean
man.
it has a bad reputation right now, and not as like a not as a like it's a bad class to play, but as in like it's sort of like such a meta class that some people just want to avoid playing the most meta class right now, and I feel like in that state right now, and I don't think it's a
Yeah,
bad
well, as
thing.
long
It's
as
just
they don't think Striker is Guardian, they should be fine.
wait, what did I say?
As long as they don't mix up Striker and Guardian, then they're not going to be playing the most meta class. It'll be fine.
Yeah, but I mean, Guardian is really up there. I mean, it depends on the grind spot you're talking about. Guardian and Striker are equal at some grind spots, like the
Not
super
one.
high spots.
I almost want to tag a Guardian just for Hadum grind. Having that much AoE while grinding Hadum when you get an Alvia weapon looks fucking unreal.
It's fun, yeah. It's definitely fun.
Yeah, but I mean, I think where Striker starts really showing his dominance over the in PvE really comes down to when you're over good for the grind spot, and it comes down to more like mobility between packs and animation canceling, like speed and stuff like that, for like adjustments and stuff. That's where Striker Succession really starts to shine off in PvE a lot. And I feel like that's where Guardians feel like they're lacking, and rightfully so. Like Guardians are a very slow and deliberate class, and if you have to run between pack to pack to pack, you're doing this like weird old scuffle between packs, and then you see Striker and he's just
dive or forward F and actually getting back to pack hella fast.
Yeah, it's going to pack's not bad. They just get so much more trash power, man. They just clear faster, top to bottom. There's no like dissecting it. Their multipliers are too high, or their skills are too low cooldown, or whatever it is. It is what it is, man. So,
yeah.
Maybe in that kind of one instance where you're doing Hadum and you get a weapon, Guardians are probably a little bit better. But I've never really seen a awakened striker work at it. You know what I mean? I'm sure Suck
Well,
without a weapon is
I
probably with
guess
orcs and managing the lights is probably still better than Guardian with a weapon.
I think for me, this comes down to all AP is all I'm saying, right? So if the mobs are super tanky to you, and you have to do a lot of different combinations to kill them, like you have to do 10 or like 5 to 10 abilities, something like that, that's where Guardian starts to outperform or equal Striker, right? But if you're only doing like 1 or 2 abilities, then I think the Striker far exceeds Guardian by a light year. I guess that's all I'm really saying.
Probably the opposite of that.
Right. So, well, I mean, Striker outperforms Guardian every way, shape, or form. So,
yeah. Let's see. Other things they did on Global Lab is they made it where you can craft musical instruments. I don't really understand the purpose of this, but it's a thing. And now you can do a daily quest to craft your musical instrument. So
Cool.
I don't know why people would be interested in doing this, but maybe
Is it like a cosmetic thing, or what are you crafting exactly?
You can craft like a violin, you can craft a piano, you can craft I think it's a harp, and there's like several different instruments you can craft. I'm wondering if this is related to shy music composition, and that you can't do the music anymore unless you have the crafted instrument. I mean, I'm not sure if they're changing it in some fundamental way, but they are adding it, and they're adding a daily quest for each of the. There's like a whole bunch of different elements you need. Each element is for a different instrument. So anyway, it's a little interesting. You have to go to the I guess they're trying to make the music instrument people that they added as NPCs in the game more relevant. Because to make the piano, you have to go to the specialist that specializes in the piano. In order to go to the to make the violin, you have to go to the specialist in violin.
I'm so detached from this part of the game. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now.
There's like a instrument specialist. And every region has one. So there's one near Grana, near like the ponds in Grana. There's one over by.
So Shy has different instruments?
Yeah, they've always had different instruments.
They like do different
the piano.
things.
The music composition is what we're talking about, where you can go in there and make your own song. I can't tell if you're trolling or being serious right now. You'll have to help me.
I don't know. I don't know. Even if you explain it to me, I'm just gonna forget it in 5 seconds. So.
I'm the one that's supposed to hate the Shy stuff. You're stealing my content, dude.
Yeah, they have this little symbol. It looks like a violin or a guitar or something like that. It's called the instrument shop, is what it's called currently in game. But yeah, they have one that's called Flondor Instrument Shop over by Lake Flondor, and then in trying to find out where this other one is in Odolita. Odolita, it's over like south of.
Wait, do they have like different tones or something? Like what are these instruments? They just look different when the Shy is holding it?
I like I said, I don't know why they're adding these to the game. Let me see if I can find it on the patch notes here.
Just walked in the wrong house.
All right. So yeah, they have a guitar, a flute, a piano, a harp, and a violin. You have to do a daily quest to get these different essences, and then they also have a drum set and a drum cymbal. I'm trying to figure out what the purpose of this is. Oh, and then they added some type of mechanic where you have to perform a tour, and you actually have to take the instrument and walk from like one node to another node.
Mm-hmm.
And then like go from node to node to node, doing like a tour with the instrument or something for the person. I don't really understand all this in here.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait until it's out, I guess.
I can't wait, dude.
Isn't it crazy how low the threshold is for content in MMOs? Like you could never get away with it.
Oh, it's so true.
That's well said.
Yeah. All right. So when pioneering a trade route or investing a base for a worker job, a feature has been added that allows you to preview the path that leads to least investment. If you're getting a value pack effect, you can even connect directly. So they're changing up the node investment so you can see the cheapest path. So you can click on a node and say, how can I get here the cheapest? They'll tell you which way is the cheapest.
It's actually an interesting quality of life change. It's not, I mean, it's still pretty irrelevant content, but it's nice that somebody's looking at it.
Yeah. I think that this is really good for your average casual player, because the current idea of saving CP by connecting in a more efficient way is such a foreign concept to the new players, because new players don't have the entire map unlocked. They don't know there's different nodes to even choose. Like, they have no idea of that. So something like this, I think, can definitely help out, teaching people, that they need to, especially if it tells them like, hey, you're missing 2 points here, like go find them. I think this can really help out some people. Because, I mean, the first thing you got to do is explore the map. And then second, after you explore the map, then you can actually dive into it a little bit more. Now, this is actually something they did that's really cool. They're actually doing a new type of event at Star's End. There's like a new mechanic. It's like the Black Star gets summoned at Star's End. And the mobs, when it gets summoned, the mobs will actually run and sacrifice themselves to the altar of this the Black Star summons. And reading through this, I don't really understand the full mechanic of what's going on here. But I guess the long story short is that it's gonna be a very interesting new mechanic for the grind spot. The current mechanic they have is when you kill one of the big dudes, there's a chance he turns into a Apostle of Malevolence, and that's really the only mechanic they have at Star's End. So actually having a true mechanic that involves the Black Star, I think is going to be really, really cool, because the Black Star's been this really cool thing in the game that has had almost no purpose outside of the Black Star weapons and armor and stuff for a really long time. And the Black Star itself is an actual physical star that came down out of outer space, landed, and brought like Zarka and his minions and all that stuff, So I think it's a really cool backstory on it, and it's sad that we haven't had anything. So finally, we're getting something in the game that kind of ties this lore that nobody cares about to the actual game a little bit more. I hope it actually works out.
I'm definitely interested. I mean, looking for any reason I can to go back to Star's End.
I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to like when you play it, how it feels. You can look at something on paper all day and be like, "That's amazing," but it comes down to how it actually plays, and you won't know that until you actually feel it.
Chat's saying that it's kind of like the Marie Cave mechanic, which I really like, because that's actually why I'm grinding Monastery, is because it basically has the Marie Cave mechanic as well. Like you have these bells, and the mobs all spawn and run towards you. I fucking love that shit. I wish every grind spot in the game was like that.
I wonder if this is going to have a different level of mobs then. I wonder if it's going to be like easier or harder mobs, because at Mari Cave, they're a different level than the regular mobs. They're a different level and different difficulty. So,
well, it's just a different spot, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I wonder if this is going to be a completely like separate spot from the other Stars and grind spots.
I mean, I think it can be the exact same mobs, but if the behavior is that they spawn and group up on one spot and run towards you,
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, I like that shit a lot.
Yeah, that sounds neat. I wonder if it's gonna be like an event that spawns and you can just go over and take advantage of it with like you and some other people, or if it's something that is like you can intentionally go and grind it. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we will see. So they have done another iteration on the Node Wars. So the Node War changes they originally had, they did a 4-week test on Korea, and apparently that was never intended to be a permanent addition to Korea. And I guess that's clarification, because we thought that was already in Korea permanently.
Oh.
So that was supposed to be like a test for it. And now in Global Lab, they have taken that feedback. They said they had 8,033 participants over the 4-week period.
Isn't that crazy? They said they had 8,000 people on Sunday.
Yeah.
Wow.
How many people do you think Node War on Sunday in NA right now?
Ooh, I don't know.
1,500 tops?
No, it's more than that.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regions. I think there's more than 1,500 that are involved in one way or another, easily. Because between people, if you watch, like Choice has like 700 people watching him, and then there's also all people participating and all people who are spectating.
Choice's viewers have nothing to do with how many people are warring, though.
Oh, I think actual warring people. But I think if they say participants, I think they're probably saying anybody who's on the channel in the area being active. I doubt they're because how are they going to know that you're a participant or not?
Wait, you think on
Yes up
patch notes they're saying that there was 8,000 people like on the Calphian one channel? You think that's how they counted it?
Yeah, because if you're in the area, you're automatically flagged up for war if you're anywhere in the region because of the new node war system.
That would be an absurd way of calculating who is participating.
Why wouldn't you just count the yeses?
Yeah, you literally could just count how many people were in the actual war. I don't think they're
Which is
counting.
almost certainly what they did.
Yeah.
Because that would definitely make sense why there's 8,000 here. That definitely makes sense why there's 8,000 if they counted everybody who was in the region.
But why would you think they would do that? That just doesn't make any sense.
Because everybody that's already in the game that you're already flagged up for war, if you're anywhere in the region while the node war is active. So if you run through it, you can just start killing people. You can start killing people and doing your own thing.
Right. But why would they do? They clearly wouldn't count it that way. You're not making any sense.
I think they would try to bloat the numbers as big as possible to make it seem impressive.
So you think they're just lying?
I think they're stretching the truth as much as possible.
I don't know, man. Maybe they actually have 8,000 people that showed up to Node War on Sunday.
Anyway, it doesn't really matter one way or the other. I think it's impressive regardless. Even if it's 4,000, it's still an impressive number. I think they took a lot of feedback from here though. They did a bunch of changes to it. One of the things they did is they're getting rid of the idea of starting areas and like where you expand out from starting areas. They found that it was too like compact and like jammed up as a mess. So you can start on any node now that you want, and if somebody already owns it, then you get to fight with that person to kind of take over that node, or go invite someone else from that territory and take over their node. I think this allows for a lot more alliances and strategy type thing because two people can place in the same area. One can be defense, one can be offense, and then after they take theirs, then they'll help you take yours. So I think that allows a little bit more strategy there. Now that you can place basically anywhere as a starting location. I do.
Wait, so you can have two different guilds working together on two different nodes?
I mean, yeah. I mean, because basically before there was these starting nodes, there's like I think 5 starting nodes. And so if you wanted to take any territory, say in Serindia, you have to place on one of the 5 starting nodes out of like 50 or something like that. And then from there you would spread out, and then you go and take over more land. But everybody starting off at the same location obviously would cause some problems. And so they got rid of that idea. Now you can just pick anywhere you want to start off at, and then move from there. It's an interesting idea. It's kind of hard. I think the really, really basics of it is like you look at any of the nodes that are currently on the map right now in BDO. You look at any of those, and those can be a starting location. You can start in any of those. I think that's a very simple way of thinking about it.
You are on multiple nodes at once. You have to take a node and then come back the next day and take a different node, right?
I don't know if you can take more than one in a day. I kind of assume you can. But you have a home base is the main idea. So if you lose your home base, then you lose all of your extensions as well. So let's say like you had Costa Farm, and then you decide to go over to Northern Synagoga and then Moretti Plantation. Well, if you lose your original Costa Farm, then you would lose the other 2 as well because you lost your home.
That seems like it would be really easy to grief, doesn't it? You could just like 5v1 somebody and take all their nodes just by knocking out their home.
Yeah, but I think it makes it where it's a risk versus reward strategy where you get more rewards for coordinating and taking more territories. But the risk is also greater because you're stretching yourself thinner and thinner and thinner. I think it also kind of leads to like this idea of either mega alliances, or you have spies are kind of keeping an eye out, like, hey, where's the enemy coming? Where are they going for? Which one they're going for?
I like the idea of people being stretched thin, but if you can just lose one fort and that dominoes and takes all your other forts, why would people attack any other fort? They're just going to zerg your main fort.
Maybe out of position of where they are. Well, because I think you can respond from you can respond from all of your nodes. So I think you're going to be picking where you respond. I don't know.
I think there's a strategy where you start off now. I think the strategy would be pick someplace like Serindia Shrine, which is over in the corner, and then you just go take everything around the Serindia Shrine, and you have like a little barricade, and you can forward spawn on any of those and start attacking their base from your forward operating bases. And so then, people would have to go through like 2 or 3 nodes in order to get to your main base, and you'd have like a little strategy in how you picked your home base originally. And I don't know. I think the whole idea is that it's just supposed to be something that's hard to achieve holding 10 at the same time. I think that's the whole point of it. This would be hard. That way, it always provides content. If there's not many guilds participating, then basically there's 2 guilds that hold like 10, and there's like 2 or 3 guilds trying to pick them off.
Yeah, I like the idea that stronger guilds hold more territory, spread themselves thinner, and that kind of has a natural balancing effect against the weaker guilds.
Yeah.
What I'm worried about is like, how is the community going to look for creative ways to destroy that dynamic?
I think the problem is that there's no limitation on alliances in this system at all, because it's just communication, right? Communication is your only bottleneck from taking over the entire world, and the limit of 10 per region. So the limitation, I think it would be really hard to coordinate getting, I guess it's going to be 6 regions and 10 nodes on the 6 regions. You'd have to have some crazy alliance to make that happen. But I do think that's a potential, I think it's a potential problem with the alliance thing. I don't really know the solution to that either. I really wish that they had redesigned this in a way that really thought of the alliance issue that NA and EU has. But on KR, they don't really have that issue. And
I don't think you're ever really going to be able to get rid of that.
I think the only thing they can really do to kind of make it where the casual node war guilds don't have this problem is make it where if you own a tier 4, you can't place on tier 3s. If you own a tier 3, you can't place on tier 2s. And you can't just go up a tier or down a tier a week. And that way, if you want to go from tier 4 down to tier 1s and smurf on some kids who don't know what they're doing, then you got to downgrade your base several times, your guild, over the course of 4 weeks. And if you want to go from tier 1 to tier 4, then it takes you 4 weeks to go back up. And I think that would be a way of kind of keeping the strong guilds who want to compete at the strong level away from the weak guilds who are still building up.
Well, I didn't pay enough attention to what actually transpired in Korea. So, we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
And every single territory has been wildly different in how they react to changes and metas and all that kind of stuff. So we'll just have to see.
Now, this is actually really huge. They're currently planning on increasing the maximum number of guildmates up to 200, but the war cap will still be at 100. So this means you can actually have people in your guild who are not participants in war, or you can have extras, so you can always have 100 people. I think
that solved the problem for flame towers.
What do you mean?
That's what that would do.
Well, you still capped at 100 though, so someone who's capped still has to take the tower.
Right. You could just have a bunch of. I think make it easier if you had a larger roster to figure out.
I think I'm okay with this for getting rid of the merc system.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's good, because I think at the end of the day, it was hard to have 100 people that could be dedicated to show up every single time. So, but if you can have 150 and 50 of them don't have to show up every time, that gives you a lot more freedom, and people can take a vacation and be off for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. You can have people who are dedicated life skillers or dedicated base builders, and they don't have to participate in the war. I think that offers a lot more opportunity.
Chat's saying the 200-person thing is only for alliances, not for guilds.
Oh, well.
Let me read through this. In addition, the number of bases has decreased. We plan to increase the number of members of an alliance of a maximum of 200. So that more and more guilds can cope with the situation. However, the maximum number of participants in war is limited to 100.
Wait, so right now alliances are limited. Like, if your guild is too big, you can't join that alliance. Is that the issue they're having?
I don't know. I've never really dealt with the alliance system, so
I never realized it worked. If that's how it works, then that's extremely dumb. So I'm glad they're fixing that.
I don't think there's even a reason for the alliance. The alliance system in general was just because people already made alliances in the game to benefit themselves in Node Wars, And so they tried to jerry-rig this in here, like they did with like Gear Score. The players made Gear Score up, and then they tried to make that what did they call it? They didn't call it Gear Score. What did they call theirs? Renown Score. They made their Renown Score system to try to complement the players' Gear Score.
I think the alliance function was served a definite purpose in war. I mean, there's a difference between having like 2 groups of 50 and 1 group of 100 for sure.
Right. People didn't want to have to drop their communities to node war. Instead, they would just have 2 or 3 smaller communities that would node war together. That's all that was.
That makes sense, I guess. I kind of thought it was just because of the abuse that was going on. But it's more. You think it's more for like the smaller scale communities being able to work together?
Yeah, alliances were literally just for small guilds to temporarily merge together. They were never supposed to be guilds.
Right.
That makes sense. I think it's actually a pretty good solution in that case. Well, that's unfortunate that I misunderstood this. I was really hoping that they were increasing the cap of a guild to 200, and that you would be limited to 100 for war still, because I think that would.
Yeah, that'd be interesting if you got rid of mercs. You know.
Mm-hmm. I do think mercenaries should go away.
It's all kind of the same problem that's trying to be addressed, right? Like, how do you keep the numbers even when people can't show up? And mercs, I think, was a very clumsy solution to that, but maybe something like having a higher guild cap could be a better solution, or maybe the alliance system can. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that changed in here. I think if anybody's interested, they should go to BD Foundry and look at the translated version of it.
Whoa.
Do you guys understand the rage system?
No.
Conceptually, I do.
So I think I understand it, but I'm worried that I don't, because if it says what I think it says, it's got to be one of the goofiest things I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah. That sounds like Pro Abyss is probably the right answer.
Okay, so I could be, and I hope I'm wrong, but it sounds like you build up a rage bar by dying, and then you unleash your dying power to make yourself have a huge buff that allows you to come back and win the war.
Yeah.
Is that actually what it is?
That's how I read it.
Okay.
Why do they need a comeback mechanic?
Okay.
Isn't the whole point to make it end faster because they're lasting too long?
Bro, you get powered up by dying. It's just like karma bombing. Like, you win by losing.
Hey, to give you all those free tiers, you got to do something with them.
I don't know what to say.
You win by losing. I like that.
I don't know.
I think it's stupid. I think there's enough difficulty pushing bases and stuff, and you have a little bit of invul time when you spawn up, and you've got all those annexes and stuff. I don't really know if you need like some dying rage thing to boost your stats so you can push multiple guilds off of you.
The whole point of increasing spawn timers, the fact that you get punished for dying and you lose the war as a result of dying too much.
Right.
Yeah.
So why are we now adding mechanics that boost you for dying too much?
Yeah, I don't really understand it. I feel like this is an attempt to make it more enjoyable for like the losing side, but
you can feel like, oh, I died, but I got more rage. Hooray, I'm helping.
But yeah, I think this comes at its core. I think some of the base mechanics of Node Wars are fundamentally broken and need to be readjusted and rebalanced, like this as a PvP thing, right? And this is not a solution to make PvP in Node Wars more fun. And I feel like this is what they're trying to do. Maybe that's the only logical explanation I can think of, really. I don't know.
So do you think that there's going to be some classes that are brought on just to die over and over again to build rage up so you can get your buff? You think there's going to be a meta around that?
There's going to get tamers with 100%.
I have no idea how this is actually going to play out. I think that might be one of the more interesting parts of it is, trying to read through some of this stuff is real weird. And seeing it in practice is obviously seeing it in practice the first week versus what it actually is like weeks later. I think that's where, the conversation really it's got to be play tested.
Yeah.
Just writing some things in some patch notes and trying to, decide if it's going to be a good idea. I
Even in
see very
theory,
little. I see very little way for this to actually be successful. I will say
yeah,
that.
that's why I'm struggling here, because even in theory, it's like you have two competing things. So either this mechanic is good enough to swing the fight, which means that dying is how you win, or it's not good enough to swing the fight, which means it's pointless. So what the fuck are we doing?
Right. Yeah, I'm with you.
Hmm. I think the question for me is, does it make the experience more fun? Does it make the Node War experience more fun? And if the answer is no, or I don't care, then it shouldn't have been created. And I think the answer for me is I don't care. I think that's honestly what it comes down to me. It doesn't sound like when I hear that, I don't go like, "Wow, I want to try out Node Wars. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Hey, sign me up. Get me in there." You know, I don't.
Yeah, I want a Node War.
Yeah, like that's what a mechanic like this, a new mechanic, should get people excited. Be like, let's try this out to see what it is. Like, oh, they added the ability to get flying bombs you can send off. Like, what? That sounds crazy. That can't be balanced. Like, I don't know, something that would get people excited. You know, like, oh, you can get speed buffs from the guild now. That you can run out of base super fast. Like, oh, that sounds like great. Oh, how do we get them? Oh, you gotta you gotta have somebody who's a farmer. You know, I don't know, something that makes it sound exciting. Something that guild buffs or like individual buffs or teamwork to strategize around unique objectives to get your guild a buff. You know, maybe a PvE objective during a Node Wars. Like, there's so many other things that could be exciting for people to look at aside from a weird rage mechanic. Doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think I like the idea that they're trying new stuff, but they should have had like 20 of these internally, and they should have let they should have like filtered out the bad ones. And I feel like they just went with one, you know, and developed it.
Yeah, I don't know. We need like a council or something. Like they need an advisory council from Node War. I just don't think
Yeah.
this company does Node War. I don't think any of the devs participate in it or understand it or talk to anyone who participates or understands it. They just seem like they're off in another world.
They needed that a while ago, and they probably need one for each region too.
Yeah, each region has their meta, but I don't know how you'd have to pick one region and kind of focus on that meta. Because I think otherwise you just have several versions of the game. Like, what's good in Korea League of Legends is completely different what's good in NA in a lot of cases, and that's just because of the player's skill gap or the knowledge or the competitiveness, you know?
I'm not even talking about class balance though. I'm just talking about straight up mechanics. Like no region is going to agree with the HP changes that they've done, or like the Node War, the T1 HP changes,
True.
or there's so many siege mechanics that literally everyone who sieges is like, huh? Can you not do this?
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they need to do something. I mean, right now, I think that they're trying hard on this Node Wars. They're trying to get it right. But they're doing too many mistakes and not enough progress. Like, they're doing twice the number of work, and the result is only okay. It's not even good. It's just okay, in my opinion.
It just feels like they're guessing. Like they're just thinking of random things to try instead of actually sitting down and like figuring out what the problem is that needs to be solved.
I agree.
Yeah. Yep, they just need. I think that's what it is. Maybe they don't have a dedicated team for it. Maybe they have this like some guy who's like throwing random ideas out.
I think if anything, they probably have too many people working on it. That's why there's so many bad ideas that get enforced instead of like.
I can't tell. Like, it's not obvious to me.
Yeah, it could be too many chiefs, not enough Indians type deal, or too many cooks, not enough too many cooks in the kitchen.
I think what Moreland said earlier is probably a little bit better. Hey, we need to fix Node Wars, and just a email out to the entire company and just kind of whatever happens.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, Node Wars suck. Fix it. Jay sent from my iPhone.
Yeah, that sounds pretty on point.
Yeah. So I'm still looking, just to put a cap on this, I'm still really looking forward to the changes in Node War. 100-man T1s all the time, is going to make the current guild that I'm in pretty fucking strong. So that'll be cool, but it'll also kind of probably force a lot of these people, and maybe that's an answer to the larger alliance system. That might be kind of focused towards lower tier node wars as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I'm definitely looking forward to all of this. Just different, as long as it's different.
Yeah. One of the good quality of life changes they did on Global Lab this week is they made it where there's now a transition from the normal weather to like the hadum weather. So
Oh yeah, my immersion, dude.
I actually am really happy about that. It's not like it's a game breaking thing, but it's like the type of basic quality polish you would expect on any game that's come out in like the last 20 years,
Yeah.
And that's so I'm really happy they did that. They have a nice transition now.
Yeah, that shit was jarring for sure.
It was really. I still feel like part of the problem is that some of the areas that should have the Hadum influence in Serendia still don't. I still feel like that's also part of the issue because you'll be running from like Castle Ruins back to Heidel and over like flash, 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 and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I feel like that's still sort of the issue there, that they don't quite have the entire Hadum weather layout on the Serendia yet, on all of Serendia. But I definitely think that the weather transition thing is going to be a huge. It's going to help my eyes for sure.
Oh, good.
I think that's it. I wrote down. Yeah, that's it for BDO stuff this week. The only thing that I have for other games, and then we can open up to whatever, is Last Oasis has its 3rd season. It just got reset today. So if anybody wants to go and get their desert on and go kill some dudes in the desert.
Did they fix anything? Did they fix that game yet?
It's actually worse than it was before. But the early
Really?
game, yeah, they changed the UI and it looks worse.
Yeah,
Really?
it's like built for Xbox.
Yeah. They had to change it because of programming for Xbox, but the new UI looks worse. So I don't know how they mixed that up. Another thing, what's the other thing? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, they didn't fix the clan caps on like regions, and they didn't increase the cap of members in the guild, so you still get capped out at like 50 or something like that for your guild or a clan cap or whatever. So, and it was like the big issues. I assume they're going to be releasing the snake worm this time around in Last Oasis. That's my assumption, is the actual worm's coming out finally.
PvE content.
Yeah, that should be cool. Fighting the big worm. And I think that's about it for Last Oasis.
I was tempted. Those wipes are fun.
They are. The first week is always the best. The first week on Last Oasis for sure.
I'm a little turned off by the whole idea of hard tiles. I think people should just have their little safe spots and stuff, but I understand the mentality. I
For me,
was
it's
tempted.
the quality grind. They need to do something
Oh,
with the quality
yeah.
grind. That's what, like, early game is the only fun part. As soon as you get into mid game, you're like, okay, nah,
Yeah.
I don't really want to upgrade this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it is like the quality grind is like time consuming, and then the reward for it is really low as well. It's like the combination of both those. It's a crazy amount of time, and the reward is very minimal.
And it's not like a rewarding like series of actions. It's like very weird kind of spurgy activities that you have to do that aren't like role play. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's very like EVE Online-ish.
I kind of liked what they did in Skyrim originally, right? You could get like an alchemy potion, and then the alchemy potion would buff your smithing, and then your smithing would make better gear, so you make better alchemy potions, and then you would make a better potion, so you make a better smithing, and then you just kind of, go back up
That's
like that.
kind of in Worm. I like, honestly, best sandbox crafting system I've ever seen in an MMO. You get a certain level of tool that can mine a certain level of material, and then you can upgrade items that already exist and keep pumping them up as your quality goes up, and it constantly feels rewarding and like you're moving forward, and it makes sense to have better tools, it makes sense to have better weapons, like everything adds up.
Yeah, you have this like a little circle pattern that you go in to upgrade your gear over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
And it has diminishing returns, so it's more balanced the farther you go into it. But at the same time, you, as a new player, you do a couple cycles, and then you have good gear to go out in, and you feel rewarded for that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they need some work on that. I feel like the gear you get at the very beginning is too good, and the gear you get after 100 quality is too terrible. You know, there needs to be like a little gap in between that they can't fill in. What other games are you guys? Oh, Darkest Dungeon. That's what we're going to talk about.
Online 2. Anyone play that?
Aren't they trying to kickstart that or like fund it or something like that?
I don't know how their funding is, but I tried to log in for a couple hours yesterday and couldn't.
I heard it's had a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's a disaster, but it's not supposed to be ready yet. It's just a stress test.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I had to take my headset off. Mortal Online.
Yeah, so it looks pretty good actually, like in terms of the graphics and the role playing elements. Like as a game, it actually seems really solid. But the problem is, it's kind of just like from what I can tell, it looks like just a reskin engine update to Mortal 1, which means all builds and content and areas and stuff from Mortal 1 are just going to be ported over. And it's like, okay, well, it's not really a new game. There's people who played Mortal 1 for years who are already going to know everything and be ahead and like spoil all the secrets. So
the map's exactly the same.
Yeah, that kind of ruins the magic of a new MMO.
It's
when
more like,
you know,
Mortal Online Remastered then?
Kind of. It is like a completely new engine though. Like it looks nothing like the original was. Dude, flying pigs everywhere in the original.
Bad. I'm interested by it, but if it really is just kind of like this, rework, reskin, remaster, whatever you want to call it, then I don't know. I was talking to a couple people last night about it. I don't know if I really have the mentality for like a open world, hardcore, full loop PvP game right now. I'm pretty tied up with other stuff, and that's a little bit more, relaxing and not as stressful. So
you'll probably be more interested after you get that Jedi and you accomplish your current goals.
Dude, yeah, okay. Well, I could talk about Star Wars Galaxies all day, but Darkest Dungeon.
Played
a little bit of that.
I want to.
I like it.
How far into it are you so far?
I think I'm on like week 15, 16, something like that.
Okay, are you doing all the DLC too?
Yeah, I think I bought most of the relevant DLC. All of it? Spent like $50. I just tried not to buy the soundtrack or whatever. But it's good. It's an interesting roguelike where it feels like instead of the roguelike really helping you, it's just there to hinder you. But like the tone that the game sets with the voiceover, right? You find that your virtues weren't as deep as you thought, and now you want to kill your family. It's stuff like that. It's just whenever there's a voiceover, it just like sets this dystopian type of all hope is lost. And I kind of think the world's gonna get there one day anyway. So I'm kind of drawn towards these like really dark type of games. And then it's got like that kind of earthbound, old school, Super Nintendo RPG feel to it outside of that, just with a little bit more detail and intellect to it. So you get to think, how you set up your teams. You can either blast through it or be like, well, these characters are suited for this area and these are suited for that. And I have to manage, all their stress levels and stuff. And so I really like when there's like a billion things going on to think about. So you can really take your time. It's all turn-based. You don't have to rush into anything. You can like really plan out your week after week after week and where you're going and all the buffs. But RNG can definitely fuck you. One of the coolest things though is like when your character gets really stressed out it's like it could turn into a bad thing where it just starts going, everybody's dead, we're never gonna make it alive, and stresses everybody else out. Or they could just be like, I am Jesus, and everyone's like, hey, this guy's nuts, but like in a good way. And so I really like that. It's kind of a coin flip. And then if you go like there's like 2 stress bars. If you go even further beyond that stress, then you just have a heart attack and die.
Yeah, had a couple heart attacks in that game.
Yeah.
I watched Moreland, and he had this guy who could transform into like a werewolf dude or something. And
yeah, he sucks because he stresses everybody out, man.
Well, what happened is Moreland's dude has like 60% health, and then it's the enemy's turn, and the enemy just goes, hey, and the guy just goes from 0 stress to max stress and dies in like 1 turn. And Moral's like, what just happened? Where's my turn? He was just fine. What happened? And the dude just died from a heart attack in like a single turn. I was like, wow. And then after that, he went to the next room and like it gave him like a treasure chest, and he was done. It was like that couldn't just wait one more room.
Yeah, there's a lot to focus on, and managing the torch mechanic and stuff like that. For like a little side game kind of fun, I really can only play it like 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Like
I'm finding the same issue. If I play it for more than a couple hours, I'm kind of just like, holy shit, I need a break from this.
Yeah, so I'm done with my AFK stuff that I needed to do. And so I'll probably play it a little bit less, but it's fun to pick up for an hour or 2, and then it's not hard to come right back to it. But it's really stressful to play for like a 6-hour stint or something.
I think I'm starting to enjoy it a lot more now that I understand a lot more of the mechanics. At the beginning, there was all kinds of shit happening that I didn't understand. And to some degree, there's still a bunch of shit happening that I don't understand.
For sure. Yeah.
And I'm trying to like be as blind as possible. But when it comes to like straight up just game mechanics not being explained, I get pretty annoyed.
The resting your characters in like different spots and stuff, I feel like either there is a mechanic that's going to pop up that makes it more like, I know there's like, you can get a disease where you can only pray to get rid of your stress and stuff like that. Maybe that's it. But some of the mechanics, I feel like maybe just haven't been explained, but it also could be they are not explained, which
some of it you're supposed to find on your own in terms of like, fuck, I'm dying while I'm typing, in terms of like content and shit. But some of it, like in terms of mechanics, in terms of how things are supposed to work, I don't know. I feel like they should just tell you, like the glossary doesn't necessarily explain a lot of shit to you.
I feel like the ornery voiceover guy should just explain it to you in, his poetry riddles.
I think that the discovery in it allows the game to be playable over a long period of time. Because if it was something that you could know everything about right off the bat, then you'd just kind of be like bored, because you'd be like, all right, well, time to figure out what the mechanics are in this one, and we got the dungeon mechanics.
Content, I agree, but when it comes to like literally how skills work and like how targeting works and shit like that, I don't think it's fun to figure that stuff out all the time. Like if it's really convoluted, it should be explained.
Yeah, it doesn't really explain the where you stand versus how you attack and how many skills you can have. It's barely obvious, but the tutorial is a little light. And you could just, have whatever that guy's name is, Ralph.
I do agree with that.
Like,
yeah.
As you stood on a terrace, you pondered where your skills could land, and you found that you should stand in the back.
I think the order of your characters and the distance thing is pretty self-explanatory. I mean, and then just through experience, you just can learn more about that because it's obvious enough. The thing that I think they definitely should have worked more on was who gets to attack first based on like character speed and the enemy speed and stuff. That is the one thing I think they do a very poor job explaining who gets to go next, why they got to go first or second, how you can influence that, or if you can influence that.
This would be nice, because apparently it gets like re-rolled between rounds. I don't understand if I don't know. I still don't know if you can lap people in a single round if you're fast enough, or if it's just like initiative and everyone gets exactly 1 turn per round. Like all that stuff. I don't know how I would even test it to figure it out, really.
And then there's like some people that just like do extra damage to marked characters but can't mark them themselves. So then you want to like find somebody who has mark that will go before the person who does the follow-up damage. And I can't figure out. There's no explanation to that. That's obvious to me at least, but I haven't put a ton of time
There's
into it.
also
But
so many hidden mechanics that the classes have just for being that class that are not articulated anywhere, like bonuses
yeah.
that they get if you're low on health or high on stress, or like extra loot they can find, like, and they just never ever tell you.
It seems like the priest characters, like the healer characters, have a way higher chance of like being virtuous or something when they get stressed out versus the other ones.
Oh, religious characters, maybe, yeah. I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
they like always are virtuous instead of like being paranoid or something.
I really like that though, because that allows for two different sides of the community. If you do a blind playthrough, it makes the game really challenging, but there's always something to discover and kind of learn about the game. And if you're the type of person who wants to like look at everything on YouTube, you're going to be spending still 100 hours trying to figure out everything to learn about the game. And so I feel like it caters to both those audiences in a way. There's definitely something to be learned as far as being more intuitive or better UI design or stuff like that. But I think overall it gets a pretty strong rating for such a simple game,
The more I figure things out, the more I like the game. My real frustrations, like aside from bad RNG and stuff, which is like you're supposed to feel those frustrations. My actual like I don't want to play this right now frustrations just come from mechanics not being explained. So the more I understand things, the more the game emerges as like actually really well designed.
Yeah.
Hades versus Darkest Dungeon.
Well, Hades is
different experience.
Hades is a really, really easy game, though. That's not, I don't think, a fair comparison.
Did you play Hades?
Well, I don't know. Hades can be pretty punishing in terms of like, you get really far and then you're about to beat the last boss and you die and you have to start all over. But it's not nearly as punishing as Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah. Like Hades is more about like player skill and like when I'm like actually playing your character skill. And Darkest Dungeon is more about like mental, like how clever you are at figuring out mechanics on your own and stuff, like how like how many other games you've played of this style so you know the type of mechanics are in this game. I feel like it's more of like a memorization or past experience type game and less about like pure skill. Obviously some strategy. I think they're different.
Hades put me, I can see the similarities, like they're both kind of roguelikes, and they both can be punishing, especially if you get bad RNG on a run. But I don't know, Hades, I feel like you're constantly kind of moving forward in a way that you're not necessarily in Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, I took a quick peek at like your character's setup versus mine, and I don't know what week you're on in your playthrough, but I noticed that a lot of our stats were pretty similar. Like you only had level 1 or 2 armor, and maybe they were like the characters were level 2, maybe 3, something like that. And so, the damage numbers that you're giving and receiving are relatively the same. So it seems like more of a game of just like enduring the mechanics and the RNG than it is like turning into like some super monster. But I think there's some similar, like that was a decision I made. I was like, am I going to buy Hades or am I going to buy Darkest Dungeon? And I ended up going with Darkest Dungeon because I could walk away from the computer. If I'm in the middle of something and like my son needs me or something, or my phone rings, I'm not like losing progress or momentum or something like that. Like I'm probably sitting there just thinking about what my next move's going to be anyway. So I kind of like that in a game, in like a single player offshoot roguelike game where you can just kind of pause it, put it away for a little bit, and then come back.
Yeah, I will say the one thing that Hades did better than almost any other game in history just about is the sense of progression. They understand that you always need a little incremental progression in something. It doesn't have to be always your character. Like they have like cosmetic progression. You're always unlocking like a new character, like a new NPC you've never seen before. You meet a new god you've never met before. You have new storyline dialogue every time you beat the game for the first, like, I don't know, like 25, 50, 100 times, something like that. You get like new dialogue every time you beat it. And so you always get this some type of incremental progression in the game. And that's why it feels really good. I think I actually maxed out almost everything on my mirror. I played that game so much. I had a blast with it. So good.
Yeah, I never really got that like stressed out playing Hades the way I do in Darkest Dungeon. Like the stakes don't feel as high. There's that sense that like even if you die, okay, you lose that run, but you don't lose any of your meta progress. In Darkest Dungeon, you can really just lose so much, and I think that makes it a fundamentally different experience.
Yeah, true. Any other games?
We played Among Us.
Oh, how was the
Oh
match?
God, we did. Yeah, I didn't have a single bit of fun during 9.5 hours of Among Us. I don't know about
You
you.
really didn't, man. I was really surprised. You were losing your shit, bro. That was the most fun I've had playing Among Us. You had fun. You're fucking with me.
No, it's
I
not.
just wish
I
we
could
had
see
like
that face.
2 more consistent people we could play with so that I could, rotate out bad actors.
So there's
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
what
Yeah.
it brought in is we played like the what was it called? The Town of Us or something? Mod.
Adds like Town of Salem rules to Among Us.
Right. So there was like interesting mechanics, and I think the most interesting part was how quickly Moreland like adapted to them first and kind of forged this meta. But there was always enough chaos to where Moreland couldn't think his way through something. He couldn't just like put people's behaviors in a box.
Because you guys all scream during the meetings instead of, actually trying to think things out.
It's Tim! It's not me! I was beside you the entire game! I don't know what you're
Well,
talking
that's
about.
part of the
You don't even-
strategy too, right? You know,
12 seconds of every meeting. So it's like at that point, does strategy matter? I mean, what can you say in 12 seconds?
I had fun. I'd do it again. We should do it again when the new map comes out.
Yeah, at the end of the month, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, the Among
do
Us
Town
net is
of
gonna
Us
be back on
new
Twitch. Everybody's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be
playing
insane.
it. Do we know the theme for the new map?
It's supposed to be the biggest map yet.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. It's an airship. I've only seen one room.
Hmm.
It's kind of like a big open area.
That's gonna be a blast. I'll be looking for it. I'll play that when that comes out. That'll be good.
Yeah, you're gonna follow me around the whole time?
I'm gonna follow whoever is suspicious. Bro, that strategy. I don't know. I honestly,
I still have that game where you followed me around and watched me kill everybody, and they couldn't figure. I just kept blaming you over and over again, and we kept splitting the vote. I still have that saved in my highlights.
Bro,
that was so fucking fun.
It bothers me so much. I was like, I think Moreland's it. I'm just gonna follow him around the entire time. If I die, then it's Moro, and it just so backfired.
Just kept you alive the whole time.
It backfired so hard. It worked a lot of times. I don't know. I like
it. Tilted me. Yeah, it was good against me. I didn't like it.
I think the thing is, like, it's not a fun strategy for the other people playing the game, so I don't think it's a strategy that, like, I would want to use again, because ultimately the goal is everybody to have fun, and so I probably, if I played Among Us some more, I probably wouldn't do that strategy unless Tim decides to be a dick or something, and then maybe I'll pull it off again, but...
He will absolutely be a dick, yeah.
I won't. Look, I'm not going to be a dick as long as you don't grind on my channel.
Listen, I was there first. I've just spent 6 hours on that channel, all right?
Spot taken.
Well, you know, win some, you lose some. I'm looking forward to the new map, though. I think playing some Among Us would be kind of fun. I want to find strategies that are fun and, like, for everybody. Like, I want to one time I want to pretend to be the murderer, but then somebody just follows me around the entire time. I'm not actually the murderer. I want to pull off, like, little fun things, or I'm actually the murderer the entire time, but I just don't ever kill anybody. I don't know. Just
actually, you would love this new mod because there's a role who specifically tries to get thrown off the ship, and if he does, everybody loses. So that's perfect for you.
And I never got it. The entire 7 hours we played Among Us, I never got Jester.
I got it like 4 or 5 times, and every time I got it, I was the first person who got killed. Actually act like a jester.
Yeah, no, it'd be way more fun for you, Potion. But what you're describing is griefing the game. So
oh no, I would never do that. No.
Well, we have enough people that do that already, so we don't really need it.
which is why
I'm a good griefer though. I'm the guy who gets Moreland voted out the first time.
please join Discord. I'll give you the Among Us role. I can replace certain people.
I'm never up to the right time is the real problem. That's the real issue. I would love to do Among Us with you guys and play the games with you guys and everything, but it's just the wrong schedule for me. It really is.
He really does say it like that, doesn't he?
I'll make an exception though for when the new map comes out. I'll play a few matches with the new map. That'd be fun.
Just get a normal sleep schedule. It'd be fine.
I wish I could keep one. I really do.
It's March 31st, right? What day is that?
Wednesday? Wednesday.
Yeah, that's a patch day.
You want a 1v1 after this?
Yeah, I'll do it.
I don't want to fight your warrior though.
Oh, what do you want to fight?
Anything but warrior. I literally can't beat a warrior.
Want me to play Suck Valk?
Yeah, anything you want to practice, it's not warrior. There's nothing there for me.
I could practice Hashashin and Oasis gear.
Oh, do you want me to make a trial? I can do a
he's
trial.
Stretching already.
I'll just bring my gear on my Valk and fuck around for a bit.
That sounds good. Still get grabbed like a fucking asshole. All right, do we have anything else, or is that it?
That's all I got. What about you guys?
I think that's it. Darkest Dungeon, Ultima Online.
I'm going to spare you guys from the Star Wars Galaxy stuff. I found out in the middle of this podcast, though, I was going to set up this really good empire for cooking and making food. But it turns out that this server needs a wipe super bad because everybody that crafts anything has server best materials that have ever spawned from years ago, and there's no way I can compete. So,
yikes.
I can undercut them, though. Nobody's trying to undercut, so I can make slightly less better stuff for substantial savings. And I'll raise it up in volume. What?
Just race them to the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that bad. The prices are they're all in cahoots or something. So if I undercut them even just a little bit, I think I'm going to get enough business to make it sustainable and make some good money. But anyway, that was episode 38 of Nerds and Words. Before we close this out, let's roll out the red carpet for each one of us. Potion, what do you got going on this week? Are you going to stream or?
Yes. I've almost got my sleep schedule fixed. I should be streaming on Saturday and Sunday. The goal is to get Lawn to 63 and to get Ninja to 62. We'll see if we have any time to get some EXP towards 63 on Sage this weekend. After that, we'll probably be back to short streams, and we'll figure out what we're going to do in BDO. Probably wait for that life skill EXP to come out. Outside of BDO, going to be playing some League of Legends. I want to get high ranked in League of Legends. Thinking about trying to make it my secondary game.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I want to pick a game that's bigger than BDO, but it doesn't have that I can potentially stream as another game in the future.
I would play Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact would be pretty good, but I don't have enough money to play that game.
Bro, wait. So you want to play League because of the Twitch audience?
Yeah, I mean, as a long-term sustainable audience, in 10 years, League of Legends will still be here, and people can still stream it.
Wow.
Oh man, you're gonna hate that so much.
Yeah.
No,
have you tried streaming a MOBA before?
Yeah, I've streamed League before.
Like at a competitive level?
I mean, I don't know. I am not very good.
Yeah, I mean, it takes like 1,000 hours to get good at those games, and then even when you are good at them, you can.
I have over 2,000 hours in League. Like I've already put in the time to learn everything about it. It's just a matter of practicing the mechanics to get better at them.
Okay.
What's your highest rank?
Silver 1. I don't know why people judge people on their rank. It's not an indicator of skill.
No, it's not. You're right. 100%. Moreland, what are you doing on your channel this week?
I'm going to be playing some more Ultima Online. I don't know, dude. BDO, I'm kind of just waiting for this node rework. I'm probably going to be testing out some Awakened Lawn and some Succosh and messing around a little bit with potential T1 reroll for that. But I'm back playing Succession Warrior again in PvP.
Oh, why?
2 reasons: super armor on grab and charging thrust. The Awakening dash does this goofy kick animation whenever it touches somebody, and with how laggy large scale fights can be, that shit just gets me that and the lack of super armor on grab literally get me killed all the time. I love diving into a ball and being the person who's like grabbing, an enemy suck wizard and throwing them on the ground. I can't do that on Awakening. I have to go in and just like spam Gravedigger and slashing. I can't actually like CC anybody because I just get instantly put on the ground with that unprotected grab. So I don't know. Succession just kind of fits my playstyle a little bit better.
Good for you. I was wondering if you were going to do that.
Plus, I like being the only Succession Warrior left in the game, and I'm practicing for the tournament. You know how they're doing like the class only tournaments? I'm gonna fucking win that Suck Warrior bracket.
They're doing class only tournaments?
Yeah, I don't know when, but they said they're gonna do them. I think.
Is this like a partner thing or just like a whatever thing?
No, like for the whole game, like everybody in the games, they're gonna have tournaments for us. I think they said that. Didn't they say that? I feel like they said
it just
that.
Like 1v1s against your own class?
Yeah, 1v1s against your own class to see who's the best.
Oh.
Seems kind of cool.
Is
I wonder
trials?
if the best lawn is going to be the one with at least ping.
Probably.
Is it like trial gear?
I hope not.
Ooh. Yeah, maybe it'll be like the Arsha gear. Probably be the Arsha gear that they had for the tournament.
Actually,
the only people
that'd be better to trial gear only since it's mirror match.
Yeah, I couldn't compete. Like most Guardians that like seriously play Guardian outgear me. Like even Junior somehow fucking outgears me. And like there's very little chance of success there. But interesting. Okay. Yeah, so that dovetails into what I'm doing. Trying to focus more on PvP for BDO, getting some of the rust off because I've been grinding for a substantial amount of time. Having a lot of fun doing Feast or Famine Node Wars. I'm either like top 5 or bottom 10. So I'm trying to find a little more consistency there. And then I'm going to get back in the battle arena and work on my 1v1 too. Outside of that, I'm 100%. I'm finally at a really good place in Star Wars Galaxy, so I'm 100% going to do some cozy Star Wars Galaxy stream. Even if you guys haven't played it before, and you just want like nostalgia of what MMOs were back then, it's a very cozy stream. So I invite you all to come by and check out what I'm up to, and I love talking about it too. So it's a good time. But to wrap things up, on behalf of Merlin TV, Potion Shop TV, and myself, I'm Tim Allen 1337. Thank you guys so much for watching Nerds and Words, episode 38. I don't have to keep checking, but I do anyway. We are live on Twitch every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's 12 p.m. Pacific. And until next week, have a great week. We'll see you then.